By noon the next day, Leo Evans and his crew arrived at the cafeteria for lunch. Although it was technically a military camp, the setup felt more like a wilderness resort. The few days of leisure granted before the qualifiers began were the only perk they were going to get. After the handler left the previous night, Leo, Ethan Sia, and Shane Quill had continued drinking in their room. They ended up passing out wherever they landed, some on the bed, some on the couch, and some on the floor. I am in a world of hurt. Shane sucked in a cold breath, looking like he'd been run over by a truck as he rubbed his stiff neck. The floor was unforgiving, and he'd barely slept. Even back when he was a fugitive dodging enemies, he hadn't slept this miserably. It was peak lunch hour, and the cafeteria was packed. After grabbing their food, the trio scanned the room for seats. They finally found a spot, but as they sat down, the person opposite Leo froze mid-bite. Bill, the battler, Zane sat there, chopsticks hovering in the air, the corner of his eye twitching as he stared at Leo. Yo, what a coincidence, Bill. Leo grinned instantly. Fate really wants us together, huh? Can't even grab a bite without running into you. Bill, who had been looking reasonably healthy a moment ago, now looked like he'd swallowed a lemon whole. He scoffed, slammed his chopsticks down, and prepared to move to another table. Hey, don't rush off, Bill. Let's chat. Leo whispered conspiratorially, leaning in. I got a big project. You interested? Hearing this, Bill's mind instantly flashed back to the chaos of the other night. He snapped. Wasn't last night's project big enough for you? Last night? That was nothing. Leo shook his head, looking at Bill with mock seriousness. As captains, we need perspective. We need vision. Beside him, Ethan nodded in agreement. Exactly. Last night was just a warm-up. Child's play. Their words drew glances from nearby tables. You two scammed over a dozen military districts last night, and you call that child's play? There's boasting, and then there's whatever this is. Feeling the weight of the surrounding stares, Bill took a deep breath and picked up his chopsticks again. Fine. Talk. What big project? Leo smirked, glanced around at the eavesdroppers, and cleared his throat. Gentlemen, this is a private matter between me and Bill. Could you give us the room? The crowd bristled. This was a public cafeteria, not Leo's living room. Who did he think he was asking them to leave? They stayed put, unmoved. TSK. Bill, they don't respect you, Leo said, shaking his head. The deterrence factor of the Fort City District is slipping. Bill's face darkened, and he gritted his teeth. Just say it. We're far enough away. Just keep your voice down. Leo leaned over and whispered a few sentences into Bill's ear. Bill's expression changed instantly. Are you serious? Of course. I never lie. I swear on my character, Leo said with a straight face. Bill's expression fluctuated between doubt and intrigue. Why should I trust you? Wasn't my performance last night standout enough? Leo said earnestly. Look, Bill, I'm coming to you because we're tight. If it were anyone else, I wouldn't even give them the time of day. Bill looked solemn. He had to consider this carefully. Agreeing to Leo's plan meant boarding a pirate ship. He'd become a public enemy. But if they pulled it off, let me think about it. I'll give you an answer tonight. Make it quick. The qualifiers start tomorrow. Offer expires then. Leo smiled. After finishing lunch, Leo remembered he still needed to visit the chief examiner. By the way, Bill, do you know where the chief examiner is? The chief examiner? What do you want with him? Bill asked, suspicious. Well, the competition starts tomorrow, right? I'm going to go bribe him. See if I can rig the bracket. Leo said it loudly, openly, without a shred of shame. The surrounding chatter died instantly. All eyes locked onto him. Rig the bracket? Bill's face went black. You say that out loud. And expect me to tell you where he is? A normal person would assume Leo was joking. But Bill didn't think so. He was starting to realize that Leo Evans was a walking anomaly. He might actually try to rig it. Eventually, Bill told Leo the location. Thanks, Bill. I'll tell the chief examiner to look out for you. Guaranteed top ranking. Bill's eye twitched. He had a sudden urge to duct tape Leo's mouth shut. If he actually got a good ranking now, everyone would think it was fixed. Leaving the cafeteria, Leo headed toward the location Bill had described. Soon, he met the handler from the previous night, who led him to the chief examiner's office. Knock, knock, knock. Enter. Leo pushed the door open. When he saw the person sitting in the chair, he froze. Mad Dog. He stared in surprise at Sergeant Mad Dog Wu. You're the chief examiner? Mad Dog Wu smiled and nodded. I didn't expect our paths to cross again so soon after the airport. He stood up and pointed at Leo. You kid, I spent 2 days at the North Point base and didn't see a shadow of you. If I hadn't summoned you today, I probably wouldn't have seen you until the game started tomorrow. Leo scratched his head awkwardly. He'd been busy shopping and eating with Ava those 2 days and hadn't gone back to base at all. Seeing the familiarity, the handler wisely excused himself and closed the door. Sit. Mad Dog Wu walked to the water cooler. Tea or coffee? Got any orange juice? Milk works too, Leo said. Wu paused and sighed. I'll just get you some water. Where was he supposed to find milk or juice in a field office? Handing the water to Leo, Wu sat opposite him. Do you know why I called you here? Before Leo could answer, Wu continued on his own. I looked up your file recently. I didn't know before, but checking it gave me a hell of a scare. Top-ranked freshman, son-in-law of the Ethelberg Reeds, a celebrity in Viridian City, the notorious demon of NYC, former director of the BSO Special Ops Division, and now a captain in the North Point Military District. Wu rattled off the titles, then laughed bitterly. I really didn't expect that being the top scorer would be the least impressive thing on your resume. Leo scratched his head shyly. It's just a tiny bit of luck, plus a tiny bit of my own hard work. That's how I got here. He wasn't lying. It really was only a tiny bit of hard work. But Wu took it as humility. Don't be modest. I know you must have gone through extraordinary experiences to get where you are today. Leo took a sip of water, feigning depth, and said with a weary tone, it was just one step at a time. I know I don't have much talent, so I could only rely on day after day of grinding effort. You are the least qualified person to say that. The system chimed in. Shut up. Leo cursed internally. Can't I pose for a second? Are you saying I didn't work hard? The system fell silent. If grinding ranked matches in video games counted as hard work, then it had nothing to say. Mad Dog Wu nodded, buying the act. The reason I called you here today is that I need your help with something. I'll be straight with you. The mission given to me by the higher-ups was to go to the North Point Military District and eliminate Shiro Kiri. But I didn't do that. Instead, I made a deal with Shiro. Leo raised an eyebrow. You disobeyed orders, Mad Dog? Is it appropriate to tell me this? Nothing inappropriate about it. Wu shook his head with a smile. We both know the leader of the Vulture is hiding among the high command. Sending me to kill Shiro was likely his idea. Why would I play into his hands? The cards are on the table now. It saved a lot of dancing around. Clearly, Wu had his own thoughts about the Vulture organization. Shiro's brother, Chizuru Kiri, has already infiltrated the country. His goal is undoubtedly to rescue Shiro. To be honest, I've already moved Shiro out of the North Point base. He's currently locked in the basement here. And the Vulture's goal is the mithril pistol you possess. Wu spread his hands, looking at Leo. As the situation stands, the qualifiers are the least important thing happening. With so many eyes on this place, once the games start tomorrow, whether it's the Vulture, Chizuru Kiri, or other monsters and demons, everyone will make their move. I built this stage, but I'm not confident I can control the show. So, I need your help. Wu looked deeply at Leo, emphasizing every word. If something goes wrong, I'm the one who's going to take the fall. Hard. He was right. The moment he disobeyed the order to execute Shiro, he had burned his retreat. Leo's expression turned serious. What do you need me to do? I don't know. Leo blinked. You don't know? Then why did you say you need my help? Wu smiled bitterly. When I realized I couldn't control the situation, I regretted it a bit. So, I went to find Sterling to ask for help, but that guy said he was busy with other things and couldn't look after my side. He only said that as long as I told you everything, the rest was to just improvise and deal with threats as they come. What we didn't know was that ordinarily, Sterling might have given him a strategy. Even in complex situations, Sterling could control the board. But the moment Sterling learned Leo was involved, he gave up. He told Wu to improvise because who the hell knew what chaos Leo would unleash? Leo scratched his head, looking at Wu speechlessly. If you couldn't hold it down, why make the stage so big? You're old enough to know better. You looked so confident just now. I thought you had a master plan. Turns out you just made a mess and can't clean it up? Leo sighed. Mad Dog. He didn't know what to say. Wu looked embarrassed. He laughed awkwardly. I thought I could handle it at the time. Look, go back and think about it. You're a top scholar. Your brain definitely works better than us grunts. Wu looked at Leo with hope. I'm counting on you. Of course, I'll do my best to do my part. Leo stood up with a frown. If Wu hadn't saved Ava before, creating a debt of gratitude, he wouldn't have bothered with this mess. After Wu walked Leo downstairs, he patted Leo heavily on the shoulder. It's all on you. Leo looked at the hand on his shoulder, speechless. Wu's image had shattered in his eyes. He thought he was a steady, far-sighted veteran. Turns out he was a goofball. How did he become a special operative? Captain Evans, please wait. The handler suddenly approached. There's someone at the camp gate. Says he's your friend here to deliver something. My friend. Leo paused. What's his name? He said. His name is Harvey. At the camp gate, Harvey Gundam, He stood with a black backpack, standing on tiptoes and peering inside. When Leo appeared, Harvey waved excitedly. "Mr. Evans, what are you doing here?" Leo looked confused. "Shouldn't you be in North Point?" "Mr. Evans, I plan to return to Viridian, but I thought about it. You saved my daughter and helped me so many times. How could I just walk away?" Harvey said solemnly. "So, I decided to follow you to the frontier and fight for the country." Leo's mouth twitched. "Really not necessary. You should go home and check on Hope. She's supposed to be starting middle school. Wait until she starts dating early. You'll be crying then." Harvey looked like he'd been struck by lightning. Dating? Early? That was indeed a serious issue. The thought of going back to Viridian after so long and seeing a little punk next to Hope. Murderous intent flashed in Harvey's eyes. No, that absolutely could not happen, but right now business came first. "Mr. Evans, let's go inside to talk. I have something very important to tell you." "All right, come in. I've already cleared it. As long as there's nothing dangerous in your bag." "No problem. They checked it. Just daily necessities." Chatting, the two walked into the camp. Harvey and Leo walked through the camp, appearing to be on a casual stroll. Between idle chatter, Harvey's eyes constantly darted around, observing the surroundings. "What are you looking at?" Leo noticed the behavior. "You've been acting weird since we started walking. What's on your mind?" Harvey's smile faded. He looked at Leo seriously. "Mr. Evans, can we find a secluded spot? I have something crucial to tell you. It's about the vulture." Leo stopped in his tracks, giving Harvey a deep look. "Follow me." They found a blind spot in the surveillance coverage, one Adrian had pointed out to Leo earlier. After confirming no one was around, Leo said, "All right, talk." Harvey took a deep breath. "Mr. Evans, actually, I am the new Vulture 7. Leo's pupils constricted. "So, you've been with the Vulture from the start?" "Yes. Years ago in Viridian, when my family was wiped out by the Meng cartel, I survived because the Vulture organization saved me. I joined them then," Harvey explained. "But back then, I didn't know Hope was still alive. I only thought about using the Vulture to get revenge. Now that I think about it, with their intelligence capabilities, there's no way they didn't know Hope survived. But they never told me. I realized I was being used." Harvey's expression darkened. "I even suspect that the Vulture had a hand in the destruction of my family and the turmoil in Viridian back then. Recently, the old 7 died, and I was temporarily appointed as the new Vulture 7. The mission from the leader was to monitor your every move." Harvey then told Leo everything about Vulture 9 and Gareth Granger, as well as the situation with Captain Invincible Zhao. "I don't know exactly what 9 and Gareth are planning, but it definitely involves the qualifiers. And their goal is targeting you, Mr. Evans. You have to be careful." Leo listened patiently, then fell into deep thought. Vulture 9, Gareth Granger, Captain Invincible Zhao, Chizuru Kiri. A whole parade of monsters and demons all rushing toward the qualifiers. Could the stage Mad Dog build even hold this many players? Leo felt a headache coming on. The situation was messy. "Let me think." Leo pinched the bridge of his nose. After a long silence, a sharp glint appeared in his eyes. The reason it felt difficult was that he was participating in the games, meaning he was entering the board they had set. But what if? He jumped off the board. "Harvey, I need you to do something for me." Leo stared at Harvey, a faint smile playing on his lips. "This time, I want to experience what it feels like to be the mastermind behind the curtain." Harvey blinked, looking confused. Near evening, inside Kane's room. "You want me to do what?" Kane's eyes bulged as he stared at Leo in disbelief. "You want me to disguise myself as you and participate in the qualifiers." Ethan, Ava, and the others in the room looked at Leo with strange expressions. "Leo, what kind of madness is this?" Ethan asked. "If Kane is playing you, where are you going?" Leo smirked. "To do big things." The room fell silent. After a moment, Kane's lip trembled. "Leo, listen to me. It's not necessary. You doing big things really scares us. Relax. Just follow my lead." Leo raised an eyebrow at Kane. "Ava learned disguise techniques from my mom back in NYC. Turning you into me is a piece of cake. But Kane, you need to be mentally prepared. Starting tomorrow, you act as me. The Vulture, Gareth Granger, Chizuru Kiri, and God knows who else will be watching you. Be careful not to blow your cover." Kane exploded. "You provoked all these demons, and now you want me to be your meat shield." He pointed a trembling finger at Leo. "You're sending me to die." "Kane." Leo looked at him sternly. "We achieved what we have today because we are fearless in the face of death. Have you gotten so used to the easy life that you forgot how we risked our lives to get here step by step?" Kane stared at him blankly, then raised his middle finger without hesitation. Seeing that the hard approach failed, Leo softened his tone instantly. Brother Kane, just help me out this once. I promise you won't be in danger. Besides, tomorrow is mostly individual and arena battles. Half the enemies will probably surrender the moment they see us. To show your face, pose a bit, and it's done. Just tomorrow. Kane hesitated. Leo nodded decisively. Kane sighed deeply, accepting his fate. Leo turned to Ava, knowing Leo as well as she did. Disguising Kane as him would be second nature to her. Mr. Evans, where are you going? Shane Quill asked anxiously. You're not leaving me behind again, are you? Leo patted Shane on the shoulder. Prophet, relax. If you're truly in danger, I will definitely appear by your side. Really? You're not lying to me. Of course. I swear on my character. Hearing Leo swear on his character, Ava and the others looked at Shane with pity. Poor child. He's definitely lying. His character was fed to the dogs back in Ethelberg long ago. But Shane didn't know that. Since Leo promised, he didn't say more. Leo gave a few more instructions. All right, I'm heading out. From now on, Kane is Leo Evans. As for me, I have business to attend to. Adrian, loop the surveillance footage so no one sees me leave. With that, Leo changed into black clothes and slipped out of the camp under the cover of night. The next day, the opening ceremony of the qualifiers began. 27 teams assembled. Mad Dog Wu appeared in his capacity as chief examiner. After a brief speech, he announced the start of the individual and arena battles. Essentially, these initial matches were just a warm-up for the main event. But they carried points, albeit few. Racking up wins could boost a team's morale. In the North Point team formation, Kane, now practically a clone of Leo, stood in the captain's spot. Lieutenant Sarge Sue and Major Shaw didn't know Leo was actually Kane in disguise, but they felt something was off. Today's Leo seemed exceptionally well-behaved. It made them uncomfortable. Individual Match 1. Riverton District's Rex, the Tank Titan, versus Fort City District's Bill, the Battler Zane. The crowd erupted. A high-quality match right out of the gate. Rex Titan was the vice-captain of Riverton, a team that had won 2 consecutive championships. Their strength was unquestionable. This is going to be good. Captain versus vice-captain. Hard to say who wins. I'm betting on Bill. Rex is huge, but he lacks Bill's finesse. I think Rex takes it. Riverton has momentum. I heard their captain, Felix Jiang, came back from the frontier specifically for the three-peat. From a frontier? No wonder his killing intent is so heavy. As the crowd buzzed, Rex and Bill took the stage. Someone in the crowd shouted loudly. Go get him, Bill. Beat that big lug. Leo Evans dropped him with one punch. You only need half a punch. Everyone looked over to see Ethan Sia waving his fist, cheering enthusiastically for Bill. Bill heard it too, and his face darkened. Half a punch? You come up here and try it. Some newer teams were confused. They didn't know about the bar fight incident, but gossip traveled fast. Soon, everyone knew of Leo's one-punch legend. Feeling the eyes boring into him, Kane felt miserable. Every movement felt unnatural. Act natural, Ava whispered from beside him. Think about what Leo would do. Don't blow it. Kane took a deep breath, then shouted. What are you looking at? You want to get flattened with one punch too? Ava and Ethan facepalmed immediately. Kane, oh Kane. Leo is reckless, but he's not an idiot. If the real Leo were here, he'd probably act shy and humbly say it was all Bill's credit that night. He pretends to be crazy. You're actually acting stupid. Sure enough, Kane's outburst drew even more attention. Leo Evans, huh? All right, hope I match with you. Damn, that arrogant? I don't know what happened that night, but I have to test the waters. Since when is North Point this cocky? We'll see soon enough. Kane's mouth twitched. This wasn't going how he imagined. Ava covered her face and whispered, just play mute and wait for Leo to get back. On stage, the fight was concluding. The rules stated that touching a lethal point 3 times resulted in a win, or simply knocking the opponent out. Bill didn't have the power to knock out Rex, so he used agility to tap 3 lethal points first. Individual Match 1. Fort City's Bill Zane wins. 1 point, the referee announced. Walking off the stage, Bill walked straight toward Leo. He stood beside him and whispered, I agree to the thing you mentioned yesterday. Kane? Question marks flooded Kane's brain. He turned his head, giving Bill a confused look. Bro, can you be specific? I don't know anything. Leo didn't tell me jack. Seeing the confusion, Bill explained, I know you said the offer expired last night, but I needed more time to consider something like that. Oh, then we proceed as discussed, Kane said. He didn't know what it was, but if Leo proposed it, he just had to roll with it. Bill glanced at him, nodded, and returned to his team. Kane let out a long breath. But before he could finish exhaling, he sent someone else beside him. He looked. It was the chief examiner. Why are you standing here? Go to designated spot. So, got a plan yet? Mad Dog Wu asked softly. I have a bad feeling. It's only day one, so the chances of them moving are low, but we need to be cautious. What are you planning? Kane kept a poker face. He had given up struggling. Damn it. Leo left a mountain of instructions last night, but didn't mention the important stuff. If you told me you were in cahoots with the chief examiner, I wouldn't be this lost. Seeing Leo acting strange, Wu frowned. What's wrong? You look pale. Nearby, Ethan saw the situation and quickly ran over, slinging an arm around Kane's shoulder while grinning at Wu. Chief Examiner, Leo drank too much last night. Stomach isn't feeling great. Hey Leo, I told you not to drink so much. Relaxation needs moderation. Apologize to the Chief Examiner. Won't happen again. Kane quickly jumped on the excuse. Sorry, Chief Examiner. My condition today isn't suitable for discussing business. Wu gave him a deep look, then patted his shoulder amicably. Take care. If you need anything, let me know. With that, Wu walked away as if he had just come over to check on a subordinate. Once out of earshot, Wu immediately summoned his handler. Check all camp surveillance. See if anyone left the camp last night. Fast. Notify me the moment you find anything. He turned back to look at the North Point team, whispering to himself. Leaving a decoy for me to cover for you? Leo, what exactly are you planning? A small town near the competition grounds. It was only a few miles away from the camp. To ensure the smooth operation of the qualifiers, guards were stationed here, but they could only stop ordinary people, not someone like Gareth Granger. Gareth had slipped into the town unnoticed some time ago, waiting for news from Vulture 9. Currently, he sat in a chair, idly playing with a dagger. He fantasized about plunging it into Leo Evans' neck. It would be exquisite. Creak. The door pushed open, and a figure walked in. Gareth looked up immediately. Seeing the mask on the visitor's face, he frowned. You're not 9. 9 has another mission. Gareth, it's time to move. Gareth stood up slowly. I recognize that mask. You're the new 7. 7 nodded slowly. Come with me. Barring any accidents, the mithril pistol will be ours today. Gareth's eyes lit up. He didn't care who he worked with. His goal was the pistol. We're moving on Leo? Moving, yes. But not on Leo, 7 explained. You're coming with me to intercept a man named Captain Invincible Zhao. We trade his life for the mithril pistol. Gareth was unmoved. Leo would hand over the pistol for a stranger. It's not Zhao that's valuable. It's the intelligence he carries. Intelligence is useless to Leo, but useful to the nation, 7 continued. We can use it to negotiate with the government, forcing them to pressure Leo into handing over the gun. Gareth hesitated. Is the intel really that valuable? Of course. I wouldn't lie to you. This is completely different from the plan I had with 9. I told you. 9 has other tasks. 7 said coolly. Gareth, we are partners. We will deliver what we promised. But we also hope you cooperate sincerely. You can have your own agenda, but don't ruin our operation. Otherwise, the entire Vulture organization will hunt you down. Garrett's expression grew serious. Before, he might have scoffed, but after operating with 9, he realized how deep the Vulture's waters ran. No need to invite that kind of trouble. All he wanted was the North Point Horde and the Amber Fruit. Let's go then, Gareth said. I've been stuck here long enough. Time to stretch my legs. Keep it quiet. Once we're out of town, you can stretch however you want. 7 turned and left. Gareth smirked at his back and followed. Shortly after Gareth left, a man navigated the alleys naturally, arriving at Gareth's lodging. He pushed the door open, found it empty, and called out, Gareth? 9 says we can move now. Gareth? Are you there? Getting no response, the man's face changed. Bad. Gareth was missing. I must inform 9 immediately. Shoo! A hush sound came from behind. Before the man could react, a cold blade pressed against his throat. His hand, holding his phone, froze in midair. So he's missing. Why tell 9? Isn't 9 supposed to be a big shot? Let him find Gareth himself. Harvey whispered into the man's ear. Disturbing Mr. Evans' plan. That's the real disaster. Don't. Ugh. Before the man could finish, his throat was slit. He slumped to the ground, bleeding out. Moments later, he was gone. Harvey picked up the phone, looking at the typed message that hadn't been sent. He deleted it and sent a specific symbol to Vulture 9. It was the Vulture's internal code. Everything is proceeding according to plan. No issues. After doing this, Harvey looked at the phone and sneered. You think hiding Garrett's location keeps me from finding him? 7's intelligence network isn't something a trash like 9 can compare to. He removed the SIM card, walked out, and tossed it into a passing delivery truck. In the forest, Captain Invincible Zhao leaned against a large rock, grimacing as he tended to his wounds. He couldn't count how many injuries he'd sustained during this escape. Being alive right now felt like a miracle. Damn it, when I get back, I'm sleeping for 3 days and 3 nights. Even if old General White yells at me, I'm not getting up. Beside him lay a white suitcase, marked with several bullet holes. Zhao looked at the holes, bad memories flashing through his mind. Those people definitely weren't from the Southern Union. Looks like plenty of folks don't want me bringing this intel back. After resting for a moment, a stubborn glint appeared in his eyes. He forced himself up, leaving a smear of blood on the rock. None of you want me alive? Then I'll live just to spite you. He gritted his teeth. I'm going to stand in front of you, jumping around just to scare the hell out of you. He picked up the suitcase and trudged forward. The dense forest was his best cover. Shortly after he left, a figure in black stood by the rock, looking at the blood. Blood still wet. He just left, someone said. The leader sneered. He's an arrow at the end of its flight. He won't get far. Besides, the leader said 7 is intercepting him ahead. I want to see if this invincible Zhao really lives up to his name. Chase. The group followed the blood trail, plunging deeper into the woods. In the forest, Gareth Granger followed 7, frowning. Just the 2 of us. Of course. For this operation, fewer people mean fewer complications, 7 said calmly. Besides, Zhao is already on his last legs. He's alone and running for his life. With your strength, can't you take him down? Gareth nodded slightly. That made sense. With him there, I didn't need anyone else. Are you sure Zhao will run this way? Positive. It's the only path. 7 looked at Gareth and warned, remember, when we move, do not kill him. If he dies, our leverage is gone. Understood. What a hassle, Gareth said, annoyed. If it weren't for the amber fruit, I wouldn't bother working with you people. Hearing this, 7 suddenly asked, do you think the amber fruit actually exists? Of course. It's inside the North Point Horde. That's beyond doubt. Then I find it a bit strange, 7 rubbed his chin, sounding perplexed. Although I haven't seen this amber fruit, I assume it's a fruit, right? Since it's a fruit, there should be a tree, right? Like, if you were born, you must have a mother. Why aren't you looking for the tree instead of the fruit? Gareth froze. A fruit implies a tree? An amber fruit tree? Does such a thing exist? Gareth looked skeptical. If a tree really existed, how has no one found it by now? 7 looked exasperated. You doubt the existence of the tree, but you believe in the fruit? It's like believing in eggs, but not chickens. Don't you think that's problematic? This logic threw Gareth into deep doubt. At the same time, Gareth found a strange familiarity in 7. Even though the man wore a fox mask, Gareth felt like he'd seen him somewhere. The tone, the way of speaking. Have we met somewhere before? Gareth stared at the mask. You give me a very familiar feeling. Familiar. 7 laughed. Slowly, he reached up and took off the mask. Beneath the mask was a plain, forgettable face, the kind you'd see 1,000 of on any street. And now, still familiar. 7 grinned. Gareth frowned. You just showed me your real face. It's nothing to me. I don't like being suspected by my partners during an operation. 7 smiled. Taking off the mask is my show of trust. My sincerity. Gareth gave him a long look. After a while, he said slowly, you're more reliable than 9. 7 laughed heartily and put the mask back on. The 2 continued toward the ambush point. Meanwhile, at the competition, time was passing. The qualifiers were halfway through the day. Commander Wu, we checked thoroughly. The surveillance from last night was tampered with. We found nothing. Hearing this news, Mad Dog Wu narrowed his eyes. Good kid. Dare to mess with my cameras. Must be that Adrian guy Commander Hayes mentioned. Wu recalled the hooded man. He hadn't thought much of him before, but now it seemed he was a real talent. Fina, go to your work. Pretend nothing happened. Yes, Commander. Wu went back to watching the arena. Because of the betting incident that night, many teams surrendered immediately upon matching with North Point or Violet Creek. It sped things up considerably. However, the teams that arrived late and missed the bet weren't about to give up. Next match. Violet Creek's Ethan Xie versus Plateau District's Drake Rains. Hearing his name, Ethan Xie pulled out the registration sheet from that night, scanning it left and right. He couldn't find Plateau District on the list. Shit, bad luck. Ethan was speechless. He could have slept through half the matches, but no. Rigged. Definitely rigged. Why does the ref just pick names? Where's the random draw? This competition plays dirty. Wait, why did I say also? On the other side, Kane was equally speechless. Why didn't any of this happen when the real Leo was here? The moment I step in, everyone targets me? I'm supposed to be the local Ethelberg guy. Why are they treating me like I'm from the islands? Meanwhile, Drake Rain stood on the stage, looking ready to beat someone into a pulp. This will be a good show. Plateau District is a powerhouse. Yeah, their captain, Drake Rains, looks exceptionally strong this year. Came prepared. I think Plateau is aiming for top 3. That Ethan guy from Violet Creek looks like a slacker. True. Didn't see him do anything that night. Probably a freeloader. Hearing the whispers, Ethan laughed bitterly. Everyone looked down on him, and he couldn't even prove them wrong. The stupid individual round rules forbade weapons. Without his throwing knives, in an open arena, he was severely nerfed. Looking across, Drake looked ready to dismantle him. Ethan let out a long sigh. The moment the referee blew the whistle, Ethan raised his hand. I forfeit. Then, he turned and walked off the stage crisply. 1 point. Why risk his life for it? He'd wrestle them in the team battles. Obviously, this move stunned both the referee and Drake. Are you sure? The referee asked. You're the captain of Violet Creek. What kind of captain surrenders instantly? It's a huge blow to morale. Ethan looked indifferent. We picked up so many free points already. Giving one back is just good manners. Drake's face darkened. I don't need your charity point. Don't need it? Then you surrender. I want it. I never have too many points. Ethan cut in. That's not what I meant. Drake waved his hands, terrified the ref might actually record it that way. Ethan scoffed. TSK. Can't afford to give it, yet you say you don't want it. He walked back to his team and addressed them. Brothers, I saw that Plateau District has it rough. We gifted them a point. Any objections? No objections, Captain. The team shouted in unison. Ethan looked pleased. See? That's the team I built. Lucia, Shang, covered her face, feeling the gazes from all directions. She wanted to beat Ethan up. Of all people to copy, he had to pick up Leo's bad habits. He was acting completely Leo-fied. The referee ignored their antics and announced. Next match, North Point's Leo Evans versus Serenity District's Chester East. Ethan's jaw dropped as he looked at Kane. He pulled out the list again. Still no Serenity District. Rigged. Absolutely rigged. Meanwhile, Kane was beyond frustrated. Why does the universe hate me specifically? Chester East stood on the stage, chin high, looking arrogantly at Leo. Heard you tough. Took out a crowd with one hand. Come up here. Let me see it. Not far away, Rex Titan of Riverton, the man traumatized by Leo's punch, smiled disdainfully. The Serenity District guys noticed and got annoyed. Rex, what are you laughing at? Looking down on our captain. Rex shook his head with a sigh. You guys don't know the terror of that kid. Even recalling that punch made his scalp tingle. Chester winning? Not chance. The Serenity guy retorted. What if our captain wins? Then I'll call you Daddy, Rex said bluntly. I'll do a handstand and call you Daddy. People turned to look. That confident? Is Leo really that strong? Not wanting to lose face, the Serenity guy shouted. Fine. If I lose, I'll call you Daddy too. It's about respect. Rex smirked. Just watch. One punch, and it's over. Meanwhile, Kane, disguised as Leo, forced himself onto the stage. Fight or forfeit. Kane was internally conflicted. Surrendering wasn't his style, but fighting, he wasn't sure he could beat Chester. Suddenly, he saw Ava waving her small fist from the sidelines. That means fight. Although he didn't know why, since Ava gave the signal, he didn't hesitate. Just do it. As the whistle blew, Kane charged at Chester. Here it comes. Rex Titan felt a thrill of anticipation. Just like that night, sent him flying. However, the scene he imagined didn't happen. The two collided and grappled, looking no different from any other match. Actually, it was boring. Chester had the upper hand from the start and fought harder as it went on. Kane retreated step by step under the assault. Before long, he lost. Winner, Serenity District, Chester East. 1 point. As the referee announced the result, eyes turned to Rex Titan. Rex stood frozen, staring in disbelief at Leo on the stage. Bro, are you acting? That wasn't you the other night. What the hell are you doing? The Serenity District guys didn't care about his confusion. Rex, look at the scoreboard. Who won? What did you say you'd call me if Leo lost? Rex looked like he'd eaten dirt. He gritted his teeth and whispered. Daddy. What? Louder. Can't hear you. Daddy. Happy now. Rex roared. Just wait for the team battles. I'm going to beat the crap out of Serenity District personally. Rex. Felix Jiang spoke, his voice cold. Haven't you embarrassed us enough? Rex looked aggrieved. But Felix, that kid isn't right. Felix narrowed his eyes at Leo. He's completely different from how you described him. Either you have a problem, or he does. Felix, are you saying? I hallucinated that night. If you aren't using your brain, donate it. Felix scolded. I wouldn't carry a pig teammate like you otherwise. In that fight just now, I could tell he was going all out. So, he is definitely not the same person you fought that night. Felix raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Interesting. Two Leos. Rex looked confused. Twins. Probably not. As for what it is, we need to observe. Felix crossed his arms, staring at Leo with probing eyes. Many other sharp minds in the crowd were doing the same. Feeling the scrutiny, Kane panicked. Bad. People suspect me. What do I do? He looked at Ava glumly. This is your fault. If I hadn't fought, I wouldn't have been exposed. Surrendering would have been weird, but at least my identity wouldn't be questioned. Kane was annoyed. If he hadn't been restricted by Leo's face and fighting style, he might not have lost to Chester. We want them to suspect. Ava smiled mischievously. Mixing truth and falsehood achieves Leo's goal. Today, they suspect you're fake. Tomorrow, when the real Leo comes back, they'll doubt if he's real. Keeping them confused keeps the enemies in the dark. We want their first reaction to be doubt. Is this Leo real or fake? If we achieve that, mission accomplished. Kane looked blank. The sun dipped behind the peaks, casting the forest into twilight. Huh. Zhao Wudi sprinted, ignoring his injuries. Whether from wounds or exhaustion, his consciousness was blurring. His vision swam. Bad. Can't rest. If I stop, it's over. He knew his condition. If he stopped, he'd never move again. Almost there. Just a bit more. He gritted his teeth. A little further, and he'd reach the camp. But then, two figures appeared in his line of sight, blocking his path. Zhao skidded to a halt. When he saw the fox mask on one of them, his heart sank. Those people. He didn't know the name Vulture, but he knew the masked man was with the group hunting him. He stopped, clutching his chest, and laughed bitterly. Arranged an intercept too. He was doomed. Safety was so close. Only two people blocked him, but Zhao felt a pressure from them unlike anything before. These two were different from the trash chasing him earlier. Finally here, Seven looked at the battered Zhao. Captain Zhao, hand over the item. We won't kill you. Zhao scoffed. Won't kill me? Planning to trade me to the government? Footsteps sounded behind him. A lot of them. Zhao exhaled slowly. Fine. I admit defeat today. You want the stuff? Take it. He stepped forward helplessly, holding out the suitcase. As they got close, a fierce light flashed in Zhao's eyes. A dagger appeared in his hand, stabbing towards Seven. Oh, Seven was surprised. Still has the strength to fight in that state. However, Gareth Granger stood by, unwilling to watch. Oomph. Gareth snorted and struck. With one blow, he sent Zhao flying. Ugh. Zhao slammed into a tree with a dull thud. The suitcase flew from his hand, landing nearby. He struggled to open his eyes, lifting a trembling hand toward the case. But his body had reached its limit. His hand dropped, and he passed out. Don't kill him, or we get nothing, Seven said calmly. Relax, I pulled the punch. He won't die, Gareth replied. Seven walked over and picked up the suitcase. Don't move. A shout rang out. A group of people emerged, over a dozen guns aimed at Seven. Put the case down. Seven didn't drop it. He turned to the leader. You should be the one putting the gun down. You're Vulture One's man. The leader saw the mask and paused. You're Seven? The one sent to intercept. Seven nodded. You are one subordinates? My orders were to intercept Zhao and secure the Southern Union intelligence. He looked at the suitcase. I assume you wanted to hand it over. The leader looked at Seven, then the case. Yes. Give us the case. You can take Zhao. Seven looked at him, then the box. Deal. Case is yours. Zhao is mine. Seven tossed the case without hesitation. The leader caught it, checked the exterior, bullet holes, but no sign of being forced open. Aren't you going to open it? Seven asked suddenly. Check if the stuff is there. I don't want to be blamed later if it's missing. The leader thought that made sense. He opened the case in front of everyone. Inside was a flash drive and a stack of paper documents. That little pile was what Zhao had risked his life for. Everything looks correct. The leader closed the case. We're leaving. Hey, wait. Seven stepped forward and gently patted the suitcase in the man's hand. The man looked at Seven, confused. There was dust on it. I'm a bit of a neat freak. Can't stand seeing white things dirty, Seven explained with a smile. All right, you can go. Leave the rest to me. The man gave Seven a weird look, then led his group away. Only Gareth, Seven, and the unconscious Zhao remained. You just let him take it. Gareth frowned. This isn't what you said. That intel is valuable. We should hold it. Can't help it. You heard him. He's one's man, Seven shrugged helplessly. I can't afford to offend one. Besides, having Zhao is enough. He walked over, picked up Zhao, and prepared to leave. Stop. A voice rang out. Seven and Gareth turned. Morgan. Gareth frowned. Why the hell are you everywhere? Seven was also surprised. Why was he here? President Morgan stared at Zhao on Seven's back. Leave him. Damn it. Gareth was truly annoyed now. You messed with me in North Point, and now you pop out here demanding people? Morgan, Do you really think you're hot shit? Seven's eyes darted around. Gareth, stall him. I'll take Zhao and go first. Don't worry, my people will contact you later. Seven bolted, carrying Zhao into the distance. Morgan tried to chase, but Gareth moved instantly, blocking him. Morgan, you really don't take me seriously, do you? Morgan frowned at him. Without another word, they clashed. In a clearing within the dense forest, a group of men gathered. The leader, holding the white suitcase, pulled out his phone and made a call. Hello, Vulture 1, we secured the item. Good. Confirm it. Is the content intact? And Zhao. Content confirmed. Zhao was taken by 7. On the other end, Vulture 1 frowned. 7? Why did he take Zhao? I don't know, sir. Fine. As long as the package is secured. Bring it to me immediately. I will personally deliver it to the leader. Yes, sir. We're on our way. The leader hung up, gripped the suitcase tightly, and vanished from the clearing with his team. Meanwhile, 7 sped through the forest with Zhao on his back, moving so fast the wind whipped the leaves into a frenzy. Case. The case. Zhao mumbled, barely conscious. Can't lose the case. Feeling Zhao wake up, 7 stopped and dumped him on the ground. Thud. Cough, cough. Zhao hit the dirt, pain flaring through his entire body. He coughed up blood. TSK. Lucky bastard. Still alive. 7 marveled at the dying man. Anyone else would have died 100 times over. Zhao opened his eyes. Seeing 7 standing over him, he gritted his teeth. Where's the case? Gave it to them, 7 sighed. About to die and still worried about the case? Hearing this, Zhao seemed to lose all strength. He exhaled a long breath, lying back to look at the starry sky. So, what are you going to do with me? Interrogate me? Trade me to the government? Oh, you know your situation well, 7 teased. Beg me, and maybe I'll let you go? Zhao scoffed and said nothing. 7 shook his head. Boring. Mad Dog is more fun than you. Slowly, he reached up and removed the fox mask. It wasn't the generic face he'd shown Gareth. Under the moonlight, Zhao saw a handsome, youthful face. You? What? Dazzled by my handsome face. Leo smirked. He pulled a black flash drive from his pocket. This thing is the Southern Union's top secret intel. Zhao saw the drive, and his pupils shook violently. This? Why do you have it? Why shouldn't I? Leo countered. But you said the case. I gave him the case. I didn't give him the stuff inside the case, Leo said matter-of-factly. What they took was just an empty box. Oh wait, not empty. I left a surprise inside for them. Zhao sensed something was wrong. You? Who are you? You guess. You're not with them? You guess. What are you trying to do? You guess. 3 you guesses in a row. Zhao felt like his chest would explode. He was bursting with questions. Seeing Zhao's reaction, Leo finally understood why Sterling loved saying that phrase. It was incredibly aggravating. Let's go. Back to camp. Leo yanked Zhao up and threw him on his back. Zhao was powerless to resist. Back. Back where? You guess. Zhao swore he had never met such a despicable person in his life. But soon, something else distracted him. This kid was running insanely fast. Feeling the wind shear against his face, Zhao was shocked. This speed, while carrying a person, if he could run this fast alone, who could catch him? If Zhao had this speed, he wouldn't have been in such a sorry state. He'd have been back in home territory ages ago. And this direction is... Zhao's heart began to race. He had a bold guess. Sure enough, when the military camp came into view, Zhao asked with a trembling voice, You're from military? Leo snapped. If you weren't on our side, would I be sick in the head enough to carry you this far? Zhao felt like he'd ascended from hell to heaven. The intel wasn't lost, and he was safe. It was the best possible outcome. Thanks, brother. I, Invincible Zhao, owe you a life debt. Really? You better pay it back properly later. Don't worry. Even if it means climbing a mountain of swords or swimming a sea of fire, I'll pay it. Zhao didn't know that. Very soon, he would remember these words and want to slap himself in the face. Minutes later, inside the chief examiner's office, Mad Dog Wu stood by the window, worried sick. Where the hell did Leo go? Was he reliable? Bang! The door was kicked open. Wu jumped and spun around. Leo strode in carrying Zhao and dumped him onto the couch. Here. Found him outside. Get a doctor, quick, or he's going to croak. Leo grabbed the teapot on the desk and poured himself a cup. Wu stood frozen, brain short-circuiting. When he recognized the man on the couch, his jaw dropped. Zhao, how are you here? Zhao struggled to open his eyes. Seeing Wu, the stone in his heart finally vanished. Mo-do. Didn't think I'd see you again. Seeing Zhao's critical condition, Wu immediately called for the camp doctors. All right, my job is done. I'm out. Leo tossed the flash drive and documents onto the table. If I need help later, I'll come find you. Before Wu could speak, Leo turned and ran toward Kane's room. Inside Kane's room. Why are you only back now? Kane roared at Leo. Do you know what I went through today? You bastard. You didn't explain anything, just ran off. Do you know how panicked I was when the chief examiner came looking for me? Leo covered his ears, looking at the furious Kane soothingly. Kane, calm down. Nothing happened, right? Ava quickly briefed Leo on the day's events. Leo raised an eyebrow, looking at Kane. So, you got beat up in the arena today. Oomph. Kane brushed off his sleeve disdainfully. Just got my clothes a little dirty. Everyone stared at him in silence. The room fell quiet. Kane's mouth twitched. What? I lost, but the other guy didn't have it easy either. Plus, I couldn't use my full strength without exposing you. I was just slightly inferior. Ah, right. Leo nodded furiously. I knew you were the best, Kane. He changed the subject quickly. So, thank you for your hard work. You're up again the day after tomorrow. Kane froze. Day after tomorrow? What do you mean? Tomorrow is the arena battle again, right? I'll go personally tomorrow. But the day after is the team battle. You play me again. Leo grinned. I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In the team battle, grab Ethan and gang up on that Drake Rains guy. Kane was tempted. It was underhanded, sure. But since hanging out with Leo, who cared about lines? Wait, where are you going? Kane asked worriedly. You doing stuff where we can't see creates a lot of anxiety. Relax. When have I ever messed up? Leo smiled confidently. Everyone stared at him silently. You are the definition of a mess. All right, it's late. Rest up. I'll show them a thing or two in the arena tomorrow. Leo thumped his chest. Guarantee I'll win back the dignity we lost today. Ethan rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Leo, do you think we can make some money off this? Leo looked at him. You mean a betting pool? Exactly. Kane's performance today made a lot of people doubt your strength. Meaning, we can make a killing while they're confused. If you sweep 5 opponents, 10-1 odds. If not, 2-1. What do you think? Damn, genius. Ethan, you have a dark heart. Leo laughed, and Ethan joined in. Lucia, Shang sighed, face-palming. Do you two know that's prohibited? Camp rules forbid participants from running betting pools. Then let a non-participant run it, Leo said calmly. He looked at Shane Quill. Prophet, I entrust this arduous task to you. Shane stood at attention. Don't worry, Mr. Evans. I'll make sure they lose their underwear. Leo and Ethan nodded in satisfaction. This was what the qualifiers should be about. Fighting and killing all day was exhausting. Leo felt he needed to suggest to Mad Dog Wu that the games needed more entertainment value. Seeing the time, everyone went to their rooms to sleep. Meanwhile, somewhere on the frontier, a figure wearing a black fox mask, carrying a white suitcase, slowly walked into a villa. In the living room sat 3 people discussing matters. They were the core of the Vulture organization. Vulture 2, Vulture 4, and the Vulture leader. Vulture 1 saw the figure in the center and spoke respectfully. Leader, I have retrieved the item. He held out the suitcase with both hands. The leader crushed his cigarette in the ashtray and took the case. Inside here is the Southern Union's Ganges biogenetic data. Vulture 2 asked curiously. The leader didn't speak. He gently opened the case. Vulture 2 leaned in a look, then froze. This is... Inside the case lay a single piece of paper. Nothing else. The leader's expression was unreadable. He slowly picked up the note and read the handwriting. Took the stuff? Please throw away the box for me. Thanks. At the end, there was a drawing of a smiley face sticking its tongue out. Tongue sticking out? Vulture 2 looked at the note and snickered. 1. This is the gene data you retrieved? Vulture 1's face behind a mask was hideous. Damn it. His subordinate said the contents were fine. He hadn't checked before bringing it straight to the leader. He never dreamed the case would contain this. Apologies, leader. This was my negligence. I will investigate immediately and get the item. The leader raised a hand, cutting him off. He took a deep breath, staring at the words on the paper. After a moment, he suddenly laughed. Interesting. Very interesting. Based on personality, only Leo Evans would draw such a smiley face. 1. Your people must have been played by Leo. Now, 1 paused, but they didn't mention seeing him. The person who handled this case was undoubtedly Leo Evans, regardless of what identity he used. The leader looked at 2 calmly. Notify 5. Prepare to start. Yes, I'll arrange it. 2 stood up and left the room. 1 couldn't help but ask leader 2 is going to... 4 smiled. To prevent accidents, the leader prepared a backup plan. 5 received orders long ago to stand by at the military camp. If the item had issues, we initiate the plan. Use explosives to blow the entire qualifier's camp to the sky. Damn it, where is he? While Leo Evans was back in his room at the campsite, sleeping like a log, Gareth Granger had just finished his bout with President Morgan. He returned to the rendezvous point only to find that Seven Tails was nowhere to be found. This doesn't make sense. I wasn't gone that long, and he was carrying a wounded man. He couldn't have run far. Gareth looked around in confusion. He couldn't understand how two living, breathing people could just vanish in a thin air. The trail of blood on the ground simply ended at a certain point, leaving no trace to follow. A sense of foreboding rose in Gareth's chest. Was I? Play. Something's wrong. Since I can't find Seven Tails, I need to find Nine Tails and ask what the hell is going on. Gareth didn't waste another second. He sprinted toward a specific location, the backup rendezvous point he had established with Nine Tails. What Gareth didn't know was that at this very moment, Nine Tails was also frantically looking for him. The two of them were essentially ghosting each other. Motherfucker, where is Gareth Granger? Nine Tails stared at his subordinates, roaring in fury. I told you to watch him. I told you to keep eyes on him. He disappears right under your noses, and you idiots kept messaging me, no problem, no problem. No problem, my ass. You call this no problem? I seriously don't get it. Did you donate your brains to science? Or are you saving them to count stars at night? If I hadn't kept a backup plan, you morons would have gotten me killed. Nine Tails was incandescent with rage. If he hadn't been wearing a mask, his spit would have likely drowned the men standing before him. The subordinates lowered their heads, trembling like leaves in a storm, terrified into silence. Just then, a burst of hearty laughter rang out, sounding jarringly out of place in the tense room. Ha! Nine Tails, oh, Nine Tails. I never thought I'd see the day you'd be this flustered. Everyone turned toward the voice. A man walked in, also wearing a fox mask, but his mask depicted Five Tails. Nine Tails looked at the newcomer and gritted his teeth. Five Tails, what are you doing here? Oomph. I'm here to clean up your mess, aren't I? Five Tails scoffed. The leader assigned a mission. I'm to initiate an operation the day after tomorrow. We are to completely destroy the campsite of the military war games. Furthermore, you are to cooperate with all my actions. I am in charge. Nine Tails, you know what that means, right? Five Tails laughed with schadenfreude. From now on, you take orders from me. Got it. Hearing this, Nine Tails' eyes turned dark. In the organization, everyone except Four Tails and above is basically equal. Why should I listen to your orders? Five Tails, the leader, said to cooperate. Not for me to be your obedient dog. You're famously a spineless coward. What give you the right to command me? Hearing the word coward, Five Tails' pupils constricted sharply. He said sternly, Nine Tails, I dare you to say that again. Why? Did I say something wrong? Nine Tails sneered. Who in the organization doesn't know? You, Five Tails, are the most timid, death-fearing one among us. If a mission has even a hint of danger, you won't even touch it. Upon hearing this, Five Tails' attitude suddenly shifted. He giggled. You're right. I am a coward. It is precisely because I am a coward that I have been able to sit in the seat of Five Tails for so long. Nine Tails, ask yourself. The other positions, including yours. How many people have cycled through them? Only I, Five Tails, have remained. No one has ever replaced me because I value my life. Others never get the chance to move up. The leader values this about me. So, you call me a coward, I accept it. But if I call you all short-lived ghosts, you have no objections, right? Five Tails looked at Nine Tails, grinning playfully. As far as I know, no one who has held the title of Nine Tails has lived past 40. How old are you this year, sir? Nine Tails clenched his fists, staring daggers at Five Tails as if he wanted to skin him alive. Five Tails tilted his head up slightly, adopting a posture that said, Go ahead, cut me if you dare. Just as the tension reached a breaking point, another voice spoke up. Gentlemen, now is not the time for infighting. The two turned around. Another figure wearing a fox mask had appeared, standing silently in the corner. Eight Tails, why are you here? Five Tails asked, confused. The leader hadn't mentioned Eight Tails coming. Nine Tails frowned as well. Why was everyone converging on his location? What was this, a convention? I'm here because I have a mission, of course, Eight Tails said in a gentle, refined tone. The leader said that while destroying the campsite, there's something else I need to do. What is it? Nine Tails asked. This is the first time Three Tails have gathered for a mission. It's strange. Eight Tails crossed his arms. We received intel. A group is planning to travel from North Point to the frontier. The leader wants me to intercept and kill them. Then, Eight Tails looked at Nine Tails with a mocking tone. Speaking of which, you have some history with that group. Nine Tails frowned. History. Correct. Eight Tails nodded. The leader of that group is Sterling. The moment the name was spoken, a bolt of lightning seemed to split the dim sky outside, illuminating Nine Tails' eyes. Sterling. Nine Tails murmured softly. He's actually going to the frontier. You orchestrated the incident at the frontier back then, didn't you? Eight Tails said slowly. Sterling likely saw your face, so you'd better be careful. Five Tails raised an eyebrow, clearly enjoying the drama. Right, I remember now. The two people you framed. They were Sterling's sworn brothers, weren't they? Under the mask, Nine Tails' expression was ugly. He snorted coldly. Oomph. It's just Sterling. I'm not afraid of him. In that case, gentlemen, let's discuss the operation plan properly. Eight Tails looked at them both. This mission is crucial. The leader wouldn't have sent three of us otherwise. If anything goes wrong, it won't be a joke. So, I hope you two can be serious and not drag me down. Five Tails said sarcastically, don't worry. Unlike some people, I don't lose key assets like Gareth Granger. Nine Tails scoffed. He's just one Gareth Granger. He won't affect the big picture. Good. Then our objectives are simple. Eight Tails smiled. Destroy the campsite, retrieve the mithril pistol, and intercept and kill Sterling's group. The second day of the war games, the arena battles. When Leo Evans walked out of his room, quite a few people eyed him with strange expressions. Because of the fight between Kane and Drake Rains yesterday, everyone felt that this guy named Leo Evans wasn't all that special. He certainly didn't seem like the same person rumored to have knocked out Rex Titan with one punch. Feeling the gaze of the crowd, Leo yawned. What are you looking at? Haven't you ever seen a handsome guy wake up? Bunch of useless hacks. The crowd instantly exploded with rage. Oomph. Just Chester East's defeated opponent. Who does he think he is? Leo immediately whipped his head around. Who said that? Stand up and fight me one-on-one if you have the guts. I had an upset stomach yesterday and went easy on Drake Rains. That's the only reason he won. If you don't believe me, call Rex Titan out here. I'll fight him with one hand tied behind my back, and he won't dare let out a squeak. I'm not bragging. Any of you count yourselves in. Don't meet me in the ring today, or I'll beat the crap out of you. If you really piss me off, I'll call the forensic team over directly to puzzle piece you back together. Leo stood with his hands on his hips, chin high, acting completely lawless. He looked like he was ready to take on the world. Not far away, Sergeant Mad Dog Wu watched it all unfold. He shook his head with a bitter smile. This guy was definitely the real Leo Evans. No one else could say such arrogant things so naturally. This guy, he's interesting. Beside Mad Dog, Captain Invincible Zhao was bundled up tight in a hoodie and face mask. Technically, he should have been in a hospital bed, but seeing how lively it was outside, he couldn't sit still and had snuck out. Zhao looked at Leo, his eyes full of admiration. That spirit, that guts. He reminds me of my younger self. Mad Dog rolled his eyes. Didn't you only get second place back then? TCH, wasn't that because I hit a steel wall? Zhao pouted. Aside from that guy, who could beat me back then? Forget back then. Even now, no one has appeared who is more impressive than me. Of course, that Leo kid doesn't count. Although I haven't fought him, I felt something weird about him last night. Melto left. Your instincts are right. If you knew what this kid has been through, you'd probably walk the other way when you saw him. For real. Zhao looked skeptical. Is he really that badass? Mad Dog glanced at him and sighed. You remember Major Griffin, right? He fought Leo. Afterward, he told me that in a real life-or-death battle, he wouldn't last 3 moves against Leo. Mad Dog held up 3 fingers and waved them in front of Zhao's face. 3 moves? Zhao's pupils dilated as he looked at Leo in disbelief. He knew Major Griffin. That man was also on the Frontier blacklist. They had fought before. Even if Zhao went all out, he couldn't guarantee taking Griffin down within 20 moves. Monster. Zhao couldn't help but mutter. Even more ridiculous than that other guy. Mad Dog glanced at him, then sighed. It's a pity. If you were still here. Zhao suddenly fell silent. After a long while, he said flatly, boring. I'm going back to bed. He turned and walked away. Mad Dog watched his retreating back, sighed again, and turned his gaze to the arena. Arena battle, match 1. North Point Military District versus Fort City Military District. Will the 5 contestants from both sides please get ready? Because Ethan Xie had questioned the fairness of the matches yesterday, today used a relatively fair random draw system. Unexpectedly, Leo was matched against Bill Zane in the very first round. Joe, Ville, I told you we were destined. Leo looked at Bill immediately. What do you say? Forfeit or surrender? Bill's face instantly turned black. Was there a difference between those 2 options? And forfeiting without even fighting? Where would Fort City put its face? Oomph. I'll go first. Bill snorted and stepped onto the stage. Clearly, he was Fort City starter. Leo put on an expression that said, "I really can't help you then," and helplessly walked onto the stage. "Bill, old buddy, I really can't bear to hurt you." "Cut the crap. I want to see if you're a tiger or a kitten." With that, Bill charged forward. Meanwhile, below the stage, Shane Quill, nicknamed the North Point Prophet, was weaving through the crowd from various districts. "Bro, I'll make some money." Leo Evans sweeping all 5 opponents. Odds are 1 to 10. You in. If he doesn't sweep, it's 1 to 2. A guaranteed profit. Don't worry, it's absolutely legal. Small bets for fun, big bets hurt the soul. Let's keep it moderate. Before Leo had even started fighting, Shane had already swindled quite a few people. After all, odds of 1 to 10 were like pie falling from the sky. In the history of the War Games arena battles, a 1v5 sweep had never happened. No one believed Leo could defeat 5 opponents in a row, especially since he had lost to Drake Rains yesterday. Just then, Shane arrived at the Riverton District section. When Rex Titan heard the odds, he went all in immediately. That Leo nearly got beaten to a pulp by Drake yesterday. I won't fall for it again. Rex looked confident. If he can sweep all 5, I'll eat my boots. Beside him, Captain Felix Jiang covered his face and cursed under his breath. Idiot. Wasn't the trap obvious? 9 out of 10 gamblers lose. Odds of 1 to 10. Was the house just giving away money? Brainless fool. But Felix didn't stop Rex from betting. Whatever he said would be wasted breath. Some people couldn't be taught by words. They had to be taught by reality. Once bitten, twice shy. If Rex didn't suffer a loss, he'd never learn. I'm rich. Shane looked at his bulging backpack, grinning so hard his face nearly split. Almost everyone bet that Leo wouldn't sweep. He was making a killing. Just as Shane was thinking about how to take his cut, he felt a tap on his back. He turned around to see Ava Reed looking at him with a smile. The smile was sweet, yet terrifying. Shane's lips trembled. "And Miss Ava, what are you?" "Placing a bet," Ava said cheerfully. 1 to 10, right? I'm betting $1 million. Her sweet voice struck Shane like a bolt of lightning, cleaving his heart in 2. "Wait, you can't play like that. Miss Ava, don't joke around." "Who's joking?" "What, others can bet, but I can't." Ava stared at him dangerously. "Do you have a problem with me?" Shane wanted to cry. "This? 1 million. I can't afford to pay that out. That's not my problem. If you can't pay, write an IOU. Besides, doesn't your bag have plenty of cash?" Ava pointed at his backpack with a smile. "You can use that as a down payment." Only then did Shane realize that not a single person in this group had a good heart. He had been set up. "Boo-hoo. Miss Ava, I beg you, please let me go." Shane Quill pleaded, snot and tears streaming down his face. "I haven't done anything bad in my life. I just want to make a little money to get by. Besides, in life and death, I'm considered one of Mr. Reed's people. We're practically family. There's no need for this." $1 million at 1 to 10 odds meant Shane would have to pay Ava $10 million. Even if he sold everything he owned and added up all his external debts, he didn't have $10 million. Shane thought he was already at rock bottom, but after meeting Leo and his crew, he realized that beneath rock bottom was an endless abyss. "That's none of my business. Anyway, I'm betting $1 million. Don't think about welching on the debt. I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth." With that, Ava turned and left, leaving Shane standing there dumbfounded. After a long moment, Shane reacted. "Miss Ava, leave the money first. You place a bet, but don't give the cash. Are you from some mafia family?" She just walked over, said $1 million, and left without paying a cent. Did that even count as a bet? Shane wanted to cry, but had no tears left. He knew he was thoroughly screwed this time. Last night, he talked about leaving people without their underwear, but he was the one left naked. Wait, there's still hope. Shane's eyes suddenly lit up. He muttered, "If Leo doesn't sweep all 5, I don't have to pay the $10 million, and I make $1 million. As for the other bettors, I'll just pay them 1 to 2. Thinking of this, the light of hope flickered in Shane's eyes. There was still a chance. He wasn't at a dead end yet. He suddenly looked up and shouted toward the ring, "Mr. Evans, save me." This arena battle goes to the North Point Military District. 0 losses, 10 points accumulated. Before Shane could finish his sentence, the referee loudly announced the result. Leo Evans had swept. In that short amount of time, Leo had defeated all 5 members of the Fort City team, including Bill Zane. The entire venue erupted. What the hell is this? Match fixing. A 1v5 sweep. This is a freaking 1v5 sweep. It's never happened in history. Are you sure this is the same guy Chester East beat yesterday? FCK me, but didn't even last 2 moves. What is this garbage? My money. I went all in on Leo not sweeping. There's definitely a fix. Bill and Leo are in cahoots. They teamed up to scam us. Regardless, this is the first sweep in War Games history. Leo Evans is going to be famous. The crowd buzzed with discussion, showing no signs of stopping. Even the referee's voice couldn't drown them out, so he helplessly waited. No one could hear the sound of Shane's heart shattering. Yeah, it's over. It's all over. Shane smiled a strained smile as he watched the scene, his eyes gradually becoming glazed. He was stuck with a $10 million debt. Meanwhile, another person was forcing a smile. Rex Titan. Felix, I think you're right. I am an idiot. Rex laughed as if he had let go of everything. It turns out that when people are sad enough, they really do laugh. Felix looked at Rex with concern. Yo, are you mentally okay? Don't tell me your brain broke. We still have the team competition later. I'm fine. Rex laughed. I'm just penniless. It's okay. Ha 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 ha. He had literally bet his entire net worth. Now he was truly a pauper. Below the stage, Chester East looked at Leo in disbelief. He had fought Leo yesterday. The guy definitely wasn't this strong. What's going on? Chester couldn't figure it out. Why was the guy who lost him yesterday suddenly sweeping 5 people today? Even fiction writers wouldn't dare write this. You let me win, you let me win. Feeling the gaze of the crowd, Leo scratched his head and gave a simple, honest laugh. Luck, pure luck. Bill wasn't informed today, otherwise I definitely wouldn't have beaten him. Not far away. Bill's face was darker than coal. I wasn't informed. What kind of form do I need to be in to fight you? One moment calling him Bill, the next brother, but showing absolutely no mercy during the fight. After a long time, seeing the crowd quiet down, the referee snorted. Done talking? Want to chat a bit longer? Are you here to compete or to gossip? He had shouted for silence several times, but no one paid him any attention. He was a referee. He had a temper too. Exactly. No respect for the referee at all. Suddenly, Leo jumped out and shouted. The referee shouted several times just now, and you acted like you didn't hear him. You simply don't put the referee in your eyes. Do you really think the honorable referee is irrelevant? Then, he turned to look at the referee. Mr. Referee, I think to maintain your dignity, you should drag out those people who were chattering just now and disqualify them. If you don't show some temper, these people will really think you're useless. Of course, if you have a good temper and want to let them go, pretend I didn't say anything. Anyway, putting myself in your shoes, if I were you, I couldn't tolerate it. Kicking them out of the camp wouldn't be excessive. Many eyes stared death daggers at Leo, wishing they could rush up and gag him. Shut the FCK up. Useless at everything else. Number 1 at instigating. Do you just love watching the world burn? The referee couldn't help but glare at Leo too. You've already said all that. What am I supposed to do? He had intended to just say a few words and let it go. But Leo had hyped the atmosphere to this point. It felt like if he didn't disqualify them, he'd look weak. The referee snorted cold, then said, this matter could be big or small. Since it's come to this, let the chief examiner decide. He was smart enough to know he was riding a tiger and couldn't get off, so he kicked the ball to Mad Dog. Examiner Wu, what do you think? How should we handle this? The referee asked Mad Dog in the distance. Mad Dog looked bewildered. What does this have to do with me? He was just supervising. Why do you have to deal with this? You guys look honest, but you're all full of bad water. Everyone looked nervously at Mad Dog, afraid he would actually disqualify them, as Leo suggested. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Mad Dog sighed. Forget it, forget it. It's not a big deal. Let the competition continue. Everyone instantly let out a sigh of relief. But before they could fully relax, they heard Leo's voice again. Treating the referee like air isn't a big deal. Being a referee sure is suffocating. His voice wasn't loud, but it traveled clearly into everyone's ears. Mad Dog's mouth twitched. Kid, that's enough. Do you really think I, the chief examiner, am a decoration? The referee was speechless too. I, the victim, didn't say anything, and you're feeling suffocated on my behalf? Keep this up, and are we even fighting today? So, the referee bit the bullet and coughed. Competition continues. Next match, Violet Creek versus Riverton. Below the stage, Felix Jiang didn't lead his team up. Instead, he glanced toward the Riverton district team. His expression unchanging, Felix said softly, we forfeit. Because of Rex Titan, they had lost to Leo that night. According to the agreement, if they met in the arena, they had to forfeit. The referee wasn't surprised. Nothing about this year's War Games had been normal anyway. Riverton forfeits. Violet Creek wins, 10 points. Rex lowered his head in shame. If not for him, Riverton wouldn't have forfeited the first match. Lift your head up, Felix shouted sternly. If you have the ability, Go into respect back with your chest high. What's the point of hanging your head? Hearing this, Rex immediately snapped to attention, puffing out his chest. Yes, Felix, I will definitely earn those 10 points back for the team. Felix nodded with satisfaction, but soon he saw Rex's head drop again. I told you not to lower your head. No, Felix, my shoelace is untied. Your shoelace. Felix almost cursed. He realized that when it came to being irritating, Rex was on par with Leo. The key difference was that Leo pissed people off on purpose. Rex did it unintentionally. He was a natural talent. The subsequent arena battles finally returned to normal, and the referee let out a breath. This is how it should be. The war games should be orderly. The referee smiled, a long-awaited expression. On the other side, Shane Quill's smile was uglier than crying. Miss Ava, leave me a little something. Cut the crap. Hand it over. Ava stood with hands on her hips, motioning for Shane to hand over the backpack. Inside was all the money Leo had won from the sweet bets. Shane curled up in the corner, clutching the backpack tightly, looking at Ava pitifully. He looked like a good student being bullied by a street thug. Ava huffed. You owe me 10 million. There isn't even a tenth of that in there. Give me the bag, and you still have to write me an IOU. Hearing this, Shane felt the sky turn dark. Was there really no good person left in this world? Suddenly, he had an idea. Miss Ava, this betting pool. It was opened by me, Mr. Evans and Mr. Siak together. This 10 million IOU. Shouldn't they have a share in it too? Logically speaking, if I have to write an IOU, shouldn't the three of us write it together? Ava heard this and thought it made sense. Coincidentally, just then, Leo and Ethan walked over, arms around each other's shoulders, ready to split the loot with Shane. Seeing them, Shane felt like he was seeing saviors. He shouted, Mr. Evans, Mr. Sia, save me. Leo and Ethan saw the scene, looked at Ava standing nearby, and exchanged a glance. Bad. Situation change. Without skipping a beat, the two of them smoothly turned around in perfect sync and walked in the opposite direction. No matter how Shane screamed, they ignored him. Shane was desperate, but then Ava spoke up. You two, get over here. Leo and Ethan immediately turned around and walked toward Ava. Shane was dumbfounded. I scream my lungs out, and you pretend not to hear, but Ava speaks softly, and you come back like obedient puppies? What's up, Ava? Leo grinned playfully. What are your orders? Ava crossed her arms and nodded toward Shane. He owes me 10 million. He says the three of you open the pool together, so you should write the IOU together. Leo frowned immediately, looking at Shane with a blank expression. Who is this guy? Ethan, do you know him? Don't know him. Is he a thief who snuck in? Should we call security to take him away? I think so too. He looks sneaky, doesn't look like a good person. I'll go tell the chief examiner. Hey, wait, I'll go with you. Might as well say hi to the examiner, build some rapport. As the two talked, they walked away, leaving Shane stunned on the spot. No, bro. What about sharing joys and sorrows? How do you not know me now? See? They say they don't know you. Ava said viciously. Hurry up and write the IOU. In the end, under Ava's coercion, Shane tearfully wrote a massive IOU. The money in the backpack was taken by Ava. But what Shane never expected was that after Ava left with the money, Leo and Ethan doubled back. Hey, conman, where's the money? Leo held out his hand. Where's the money we made from the pool? Time to split it. Shane was completely flabbergasted. Didn't you two just say you didn't know me? Money. The money was taken by Miss Ava. So you lost the money? No. Didn't you two just see? Just now? Ethan, were we here just now? No. Didn't we go to the bathroom? Watching Leo and Ethan play dumb, Shane's lips trembled. You guys. You wouldn't. Sure enough, Shane's worst fear came true. Leo and Ethan used the excuse that Shane lost the money to force him to write IOUs to them as well. Although these two IOUs were peanuts compared to Ava's 10 million, Shane truly felt the malice of society. After Leo and Ethan left with their IOUs, Shane looked up at the sky in despair, muttering to himself. Sterling was right. This world has always been black. In Mad Dog's office, Captain Invincible Zhao sat on the sofa, legs crossed, staring out the window, deep in thought. Just then, the door pushed open. Mad Dog walked in, looking depressed. Sigh, what a headache. If I'd known, I wouldn't have taken this job. Previous examiners told me it was easy. I got scammed. Zhao retorted. Maybe it's a you problem. Since I've known you, nothing good has ever happened around you. Mad Dog glared at him. If you weren't injured, I'd spar with you right now. Heh, I'm afraid of you. Zhao scoffed. Have you ever beaten me in all the times we've fought? That's because I saw you were a few years younger than me. So, I went easy on you. Mad Dog straightened up. Serious talk. How are you handling the thing you stole? Sending it to the frontier? What do you mean stole? Can you speak properly? Zhao rolled his eyes. Anyway, I don't trust the people at the frontier right now. Damn it. I hid so well in the Southern Union, yet I was exposed. Someone definitely sold me out. Right now, among the higher-ups of the frontier, aside from General White, I don't trust a single one. Meldo sighed softly. You should at least let the commander-in-chief know your situation, right? Not yet. Zhao frowned slightly. Wait until the war games are over. I'll go back to the frontier then. By the way, that kid Leo Evans. Write a recommendation letter for him. Recommendation letter? Meldo post. What? A recommendation letter. Special operative recommendation letter. According to the rules, as long as 5 special operatives jointly recommend someone, they qualify to become a special operative. You want Leo to become a special operative. Meldo instantly understood. This position wasn't something just anyone could get. The conditions were incredibly harsh. Just getting 5 recommendation letters stumped most people. Not to mention passing the even stricter assessment missions afterward. Mad Dog recalled his own assessment mission and felt his scalp tingle. That level of mission was basically a 1 in 10 survival rate. The danger was no less than Zhao's escape run. Wouldn't it be interesting if that guy became a special operative? Zhao grinned. I just finished reading his file. It really scared me. I feel like if he actually became a special, the frontier would be turned upside down by him. Mad Dog was speechless. You really love watching the world burn, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, I don't like anyone at the frontier right now. Not just Leo. Wait until I get back. I'm going to cause a scene first. Zhao gritted his teeth. Damn bastards dared to stab me in the back. No matter what, they have to give me an explanation, or no one gets to live peacefully. Seeing Zhao's state, Mad Dog sighed. He knew this man's temper. Considering the big picture, temporarily holding back, non-existent. He did whatever made him feel good. In fact, because of this style, Zhao had caused quite a bit of trouble at the frontier. Every time you cause a scene, isn't it General White who wipes your ass and cleans up the mess? Mad Dog shook his head. At his age, getting stuck with a disciple like you. It's a sin. Mad Dog, watch your mouth. Zhao retorted unhappily. Haven't I brought glory to his face too? Someone as excellent as me, he couldn't find even with a lantern at night. You should be secretly laughing that he met me. Yeah. Save that for when you see General White. Mad Dog picked his ear and walked out perfunctorily. Closing the door, Mad Dog walked toward the basement with a glum expression. Soon, he opened the heavy door to the dim basement. Click, clack, click. Hearing footsteps, a shackled figure in the darkness slowly raised his head. How does it feel? Mad Dog asked. The conditions here are better than the interrogation rooms at North Point, right? It's okay, Shirokiri said slowly. Just a bit dark. No windows. It's a basement, bear with it. Mad Dog smiled, then continued. Your brother should know you're here by now. You haven't forgotten what you promised me, right? Shiro glanced at him. Do I have a choice? Meldo nodded. Honestly, I haven't seen him in a long time. Kinda miss him. I wonder if his assassination skills have improved. Both were figures on the frontier blacklist. Over the years, they had naturally fought. Anyone on that list was an outstanding warrior for their respective country. Often, they operated alone. This was why Zhao had infiltrated the Southern Union solo. Shiro smiled faintly. Don't end up assassinated before you even see him. Then our deal would be void. Mad Dog couldn't help but laugh. I may be getting old, but I haven't become that useless. He checked the time. The arena battles should be ending soon. He had things to discuss with Leo. Watching Mad Dog leave, Shiro's eyes flickered, saying nothing. Meanwhile, Five Tails and his crew had begun their actions. Inside a room, Five Tails looked at the prepared explosives and nodded slightly. The problem now is how to move these explosives into the War Games campsite unnoticed and detonate them. Five Tails looked at his subordinates. Do you have any good ideas? Louis stood in the corner, a gleam flashing in his eyes that was hard to detect. Then he spoke up. As far as I know, tomorrow is the team competition. At that time, the 27 military teams will all enter the forest. The camp's defenses will be at their weakest. That will be our best chance to plant the explosives. Hearing this, Five Tails turned his gaze toward him. His stare seemed to try and see through Louis. After a long moment, he smiled slowly. That's a good idea. Buck, how about I leave this matter to you? Hearing his alias, Buck, Louis narrowed his eyes slightly. Was this an opportunity or a trap? The arena battles are over. Will the team captains please come to me to collect your command tokens for tomorrow's team competition? I'm stating this in advance. Captains, please safeguard your command tokens. We are not responsible if they are lost, the official shouted loudly. Leo and Ethan followed several captains up and received their tokens. Looking at the number on the back of his token, Leo raised an eyebrow. Say, what does this 27 on the back mean? Leo asked. Yeah, why do I have 26 on mine? Ethan asked. The official glanced at them and said, nonchalantly, that number is your district's ranking from the last war games. North Point and Violet Creek were dead last and second to last in previous years, so 27 and 26. Leo and Ethan's faces turned black. People around them lowered their heads and covered their mouths, afraid of laughing out loud. Ethan looked at Leo. It's okay. At least I have you as a buffer. Leo scoffed disdainfully. Ah, last place is still a first place. Better than being number 2 like you. Stop comforting yourself, Leo. Face reality. Number 2, you sure have interesting things to say today. The official's mouth twitched as he looked at the two of them speechlessly. Gentlemen, if there's nothing else, maybe go down there to chat. Why are you arguing right in front of my face? After Leo and Ethan collected the last 2 tokens, the official looked at the crowd with a meaningful expression. Well then, good luck to everyone. Hearing this, some people keenly sensed something was off. Leo and Ethan exchanged a glance, looking at the tokens in their hands, seeming to understand. The two understood immediately and quickly led their people back to their respective rooms. On the way, Leo suddenly asked Lieutenant Sartsu, Sarge, in previous war games, do they distribute command tokens a day in advance? Sarge paused. I haven't heard of that. Although we haven't participated much in my memory, no? Leo nodded. Then I'm not wrong. Go back and get ready immediately. We set off into the forest. Everyone was stunned. So sudden? Ava reacted first. I get it. So actually, from the moment the tokens were handed out, the team competition started? Exactly. I imagine quite a few others realized this and planned to move out early to seize the initiative. Back in the room, Leo immediately turned to Kane. Kane, you know the drill. Kane froze. Know what? Leo didn't care if he was ready. He waved his hand. Ava, you're up. Ava understood perfectly. She grabbed her disguise kit and walked toward Kane with a smile. Wait again. Kane screamed. I haven't prepared anything. It's okay, it won't hurt. Just endure it and it'll be over. Ava giggled. It's not your first time anyway. I'll be a bit rougher. Leo also found his night ops gear. He turned to Adrian. Adrian, please keep an eye on things. If anything happens, tell me immediately. Adrian didn't speak. He just slowly extended a hand and made an okay sign. Leo couldn't help but marvel. Adrian was really useful this season, full of security. Ava, you guys stay at the camp. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to see Mad Dog. With that, Leo slipped away silently, unnoticed. Soon, he arrived at Mad Dog's office door. Bam! He kicked the door open, startling the 2 men inside. Can't you freaking knock? Mad Dog shouted, seeing it was Leo. Do this a few more times, and my door will be busted. If it breaks, fix it. You're a big-shot officer. Can't afford a door repair. Leo said, then looked at Zhao on the sofa. Yo, you're alive? Zhao's mouth twitched. Thanks to you. Perfect. Do something for me. Huh? What? Didn't you say last night you'd repay kindness, climb mountains of knives, go through seas of fire? Zhao was bewildered. I said that. But what do you want me to do? I'm still injured. Nothing huge. I brought some people. They aren't joining the team competition, so they're staying at camp. Help me protect them. Mainly protect my wife. Then there's a hacker. All right. There's also a con man in sunglasses. He doesn't matter, but if it gets really dangerous, try to save him if you can. He owes me a lot of money. As for Marco, he had already received a message from Julian and left earlier. Zhao took a deep breath. You want me to be a bodyguard? Me, a dignified special operative, #1 on the Frontier blacklist, playing bodyguard for your wife? If you don't want to, fine. Ungrateful people are common anyway. When the hell did I say I didn't want to? Zhao said directly. It's just bodyguard duty. I'm injured, but not so useless that I can't protect a few people. Besides, this is a military camp. Who dares to break in? Leo said meaningfully. That's not certain. Mad Dog saw this, and his eyes grew serious. Leo, do you know something? Is the camp in danger? Yeah. The Vulture Group seems to be planning to hit the camp during the gap in the team competition. Where did you get this intel? Is it reliable? I have my sources. Anyway, strengthen your guard. With that, Leo pulled up his hood and turned to leave. Wait, where are you going now? Mad Dog couldn't help but ask. To do big things, of course, Leo said without looking back. After he left, Mad Dog and Zhao looked at each other silently. Then Zhao stood up. I have to go too. Going to be a bodyguard for his little wife. You. Mad Dog looked at Zhao, hesitated for a long time, then said, Take care. Zhao paused for a second, then clicked his tongue. Just being a bodyguard. Why are you making it sound like I'm going to my death? I escaped the Southern Union. You think I'll die here? Mad Dog's mouth twitched. I suggest you take that back. You'll jinx yourself. TSH, not that superstitious. Zhao shook his head and left with a look of indifference. Under the cover of night, on the outskirts of the camp. After leaving the camp, Leo headed straight for a secluded spot. Mr. Evans, over here. Harvey's voice rang out. Leo looked over and saw Harvey standing not far away, waving at him. On Harvey's shoulder lay a small white cat. Meow, Reggie yawned lazily, looking thoroughly bored. When Leo pulled a bag of tuna treats from his pocket, Reggie's drowsiness vanished. He immediately leaped from Harvey's shoulder and scrambled onto Leo. Meow, tuna treats. All right, here's your treat. Leo tossed a treat to Reggie while addressing him. Tell me, what did you hear? What did you see? Yes, Reggie was Leo's source. Harvey had told Leo where Ninetails was, and Leo had sent Reggie to act as a listening device. There were other places Harvey wasn't sure about, so Leo had Reggie prowl around. Coincidentally, Reggie had stumbled upon the plan discussed by 5-Tails and 8-Tails at 9-Tails' place last night. Soon, Reggie conveyed everything he had seen to Leo. 9-Tails, 8-Tails, and 5-Tails. Leo frowned slightly. He turned to Harvey. Harvey, are you familiar with 8-Tails and 5-Tails? Harvey pondered for a moment. I haven't been 7-Tails for long, so I haven't had much contact with the others. But I know 8-Tails hasn't been in the country until recently. I didn't expect him to appear this time. As for 5-Tails, I've only heard that this person is very cowardly. Cowardly? Leo paused. Yes, it's practically an open secret in the organization. Harvey continued. 5-Tails is extremely vigilant. He chooses the most conservative approach for everything, prioritizing self-preservation above all else. Because of this, the position of 5-Tails has always been his. It has never changed. So he's basically a turtle hiding in his shell? Leo raised an eyebrow. A turtle has the guts to bomb the War Games camp. Leo looked thoughtful, pacing back and forth. He muttered softly, 5-Tails wants to bomb the camp. 9-Tails wants to target me for the mithril pistol. 8-Tails wants to assassinate Sterling. In an alliance, if 3 people have different goals, once a conflict arises, the alliance is easily broken. Sterling can handle himself for now. That unlucky 8-Tails probably won't have a good ending. Leo's brain spun, thinking of a feasible plan. Harvey shook his head in amazement. A hooligan isn't scary. A hooligan with culture is scary. With the logical thinking of a top scholar combined with Leo's uniquely unconventional mind, it was no wonder even Sterling couldn't handle him. Who could predict what he'd do next? Got it. Leo's eyes suddenly lit up. With a wicked grin, he pulled the mithril pistol from his pocket. Don't you all want this thing? Hey. I'll leave this thing at the camp and lure Gareth Granger over. 5-Tails wants to bomb the camp. Then let him bomb Gareth along with it. 9-Tails wants the mithril pistol. If the gun is on Gareth, you can't target me anymore, right? A plan formed in Leo's mind. It wasn't exactly killing 3 birds with 1 stone, but the effect was similar. The mithril pistol was the bait. Since he had the bait, he was the target. If he threw the bait away, the problem was solved. He wasn't interested in that secret treasure anyway. As for Gareth Granger, Leo had thrown so much blame on him already. Consider the mithril pistol compensation. Harvey, can you find Gareth's location? I need some time. Okay, find him first. Notify me immediately when you do. Okay. Harvey agreed, then hesitated. Mr. Evans, the identity of 7-Tails has likely aroused Vulture's suspicion. Be careful. Harvey was right. The moment Vulture received the empty box, 7-Tails was on the suspect list. It's fine. The mask is in my hands. Leo pulled out the 7-Tails mask and waved it, unconcerned. Whether he suspects me or not, I am 7-Tails. Even if he knows 7-Tails is compromised, he wouldn't dare find a new 7-Tails right now. When 2 7-Tails appear at the same time, is he Buddha? Can he tell the real from the fake? If he can't distinguish, the situation becomes even more chaotic. Instead of making trouble for myself, might as well leave it. He has 9 tails. Losing 1 or 2 won't hurt. Leo chuckled. Even if I boldly tell him I am 7-Tails, he can't do anything to me. Hearing this, Harvey understood the logic. No wonder nothing happened after the incident. Vulture hadn't sent any orders or shown any anomalies. It turned out that in such a short time, Vulture had decisively abandoned this tale. He cut off all people and matters connected to it. And this was just based on suspicion, without substantial evidence. Harvey sucked in a cold breath. He wondered, my grades were good in school too. Why does it feel like there's such a gap between us? Do we study different textbooks? Our Viridian textbooks didn't teach this kind of scheming. Leo shook his head and laughed. The textbooks are unified nationwide. We learn the same things. It's just that the purpose of their education is to cultivate a workforce. Never mind, I dare not say that. Go find Gareth. I'll call Julian so they don't actually fall into Eight Tails' hands. Harvey nodded and turned to leave to track Gareth. Leo took out his phone and dialed Julian. Hello. Old man Julian, where are you? If you have something to say, say it. You with Sterling, right? Eight Tails is going to make a move on you guys. Just giving you a heads up. Amen. Got it. Anything else? So calm? Is there a trap? Digging a hole for Eight Tails. On the other end, Julian didn't answer. Leo pouted, bored. All right, handle it yourselves. Hanging up. After hanging up, Leo stretched and patted Reggie, who was still eating treats. Stop eating. Time to work. In a dimly lit shack. Click. Buck held a lighter to his face, lighting the cigarette dangling from his lips. Hey, this place is full of explosives. Why are you smoking? One of Five Tails' subordinates complained. Ever since Five Tails handed the bombing mission to Buck, the boss had disappeared. They had been assigned to obey Buck's orders, guarding the explosives here until action time tomorrow. Buck glanced at the man and said flatly, If you don't like it, leave. This is how I am. You mother. The man looked angry and walked toward Buck, seeming ready to start something. Forget it, forget it. Not worth it. Several others quickly stepped in to stop him. The operation hadn't even started. Infighting now would be bad. Buck nonchalantly tapped the ash from his cigarette, turning back to look at the crates of explosives, his eyes flickering. Someone asked, How do we act tomorrow? How do we move these explosives in and blow up the camp? Buck slowly exhaled 2 words. Force assault. Force assault? Are you crazy? The men couldn't believe their ears. That was a military camp. Even if most troops entered the forest, the remaining forces weren't something they could contend with. Going head-to-head was no different from throwing an egg against a rock. I told you, he's a lunatic. The man who tried to fight earlier pointed at Buck. Five Tails told us to listen to him, but he's just sending us to die. I'm out. If you want to die with him, I won't stop you. With that, he turned and walked toward the door, intending to quit. However, just as his left foot stepped out the door, under the incredulous gazes of the group, a black pistol appeared in Buck's hand, aiming at the back of the man's head. Buck pulled the trigger lightly. Bang! The bullet shot from the barrel, piercing straight through the man's head. Thud! The body fell straight forward, blocking the doorway. Anyone else want to quit? Step forward. Buck spoke around his cigarette. You think I want to do this? I want to do this job, even less than you. But there's no choice. If I say I don't want to, Five Tails will probably kill me. So it's the same for you. I'm afraid of death, so I don't dare say that to Five Tails. I know none of you want to do this, but you'd better keep it inside. Don't say it out loud. Buck scanned them with dark, sinister eyes. Sometimes, venting dissatisfaction comes with a price. The group was terrified by his gaze, keeping their heads down, afraid to speak. How many people did one have to kill to have eyes like that? Looking at the corpse in the doorway. Although they were Five Tails men, to put it bluntly, they were a bunch of bottom feeders. They might have killed people, but they definitely couldn't be as decisive and cold as Buck. Buck knew this too. Five Tails wouldn't give him true elites to command. Bombing the camp was a task Vulture gave to Five Tails, but that coward passed the Buck immediately. If Buck completed the mission, he'd get a few words of praise at best. But if he failed and Vulture blamed them, Five Tails would undoubtedly throw Buck under the bus. Buck did everything. I thought he could handle it. Who knew he was so useless? With just one sentence, Buck would die without a burial place, while Five Tails would just be scolded for incompetence. No wonder Five Tails has such a bad reputation in the organization, Buck thought. But the guy is smart. Taking him out really is troublesome. Buck slowly pulled over a chair and sat down, smoking his cigarette, waiting for dawn. On the other side, Nine Tails went through untold hardships and finally found Gareth Granger. After learning everything Gareth had experienced, Nine Tails felt a headache coming on. Seven Tails is compromised. Nine Tails concluded. You were definitely played. I suspected something was wrong with that guy long ago. The leader just sent word. Seven Tails is likely in cahoots with Leo Evans. It's even possible that Seven Tails is Leo Evans. Hearing this, Garrett's mind went blank. Seven Tails was Leo. Impossible. I saw the face under his mask. Garrett stopped halfway. His pupils dilated, fists clenched tight. Right. He had almost forgotten. Leo Evans could change his face. Damn it. Why didn't I think of that? Gareth regretted it bitterly. Leo had disguised himself as Seven Tails and walked alongside him the whole way. Gareth had even helped him block President Morgan. Now, Evans, Gareth gritted his teeth. I will tear you into 1,000 pieces. There will be a chance, Ninetails said. Now you must cooperate with my operation to defeat Leo. Tomorrow is the team competition. We proceed with the original plan. You infiltrate the forest and deal with Leo's friends. Capture as many as possible. Use their lives to threaten Leo to hand over the mithril pistol. Remember, Ethan Xie is Leo's brother. Catch him, and we hold one of Leo's soft spots. As for Leo's wife, I'll arrange someone else to handle her. Ninetails finished, then emphasized, Gareth, stick to the plan. Do not let any accidents happen, understand? Gareth took a deep breath. Don't worry, I won't make the same mistake twice. Hearing this, Ninetails relaxed considerably. After watching Gareth leave, he let out a long sigh of relief. A long time after Gareth left, Ninetails checked the time, looked around, and spoke slowly. Time's up. You should be here, right? Chizuru Kiri. As the voice fell, Ninetails' pupils suddenly constricted. A dagger had appeared at his neck without him realizing it. Ninetails, sir. The surrounding subordinates were startled. This person had suddenly appeared behind Ninetails, completely undetected. Ninetails quickly raised a hand, signaling his men not to act rashly. He swallowed and spoke in Japanese. Mr. Kiri, is there a misunderstanding? Behind him, Chizuru Kiri's eyes flashed with killing intent. He leaned into Ninetails' ear and whispered in Japanese, My brother, where is he? Mr. Kiri, calm down first, Ninetails said, remaining perfectly still. Your brother, Shiro Kiri, is right inside the Chinese military camp. You can't break in alone. We can cooperate with you to rescue him. Hearing this, a sharp glint flashed in Chizuru's eyes. Slowly, he lowered the dagger from Ninetails' neck. Ninetails let out a sigh of relief, turning to face Chizuru. Mr. Kiri, tomorrow our people will launch an operation against the military camp. They will be responsible for attracting attention. We will take the opportunity to strike and catch them off guard. We help you rescue Shiro. You help us catch a woman. Deal. A woman, Chizuru sneered. The dignified vulture organization expends so much effort just to catch a woman. Ninetails took a deep breath. That woman is crucial to us. As long as they caught Ava, they held Leo's greatest weakness. Then, whether it was the mithril pistol or anything else, nothing could escape their grasp. Chizuru gave Ninetails a deep look. Contact me for tomorrow's operation. Ninetails relaxed, knowing Chizuru had agreed. However, just as everyone thought Chizuru was leaving, a blade flashed. A scream rang out. Chizuru had moved suddenly, slicing off the arm of one of Ninetails' subordinates with a single stroke. The attack was so fast no one could react. Mr. Kiri, what are you doing? Ninetails frowned. Chizuru looked at the screaming man with indifferent eyes and spoke slowly. Just now, you pointed your gun at me, didn't you? He referred to the moment he had held the dagger to Ninetails' neck. This man had immediately drawn his gun and aimed it at him. Chizuru looked back at Ninetails. Control your subordinates. I don't wish to be pointed at by your people's guns again. With that, Chizuru turned and vanished into an alley like a ghost, his movements unpredictable. Ninetails watched the direction Chizuru left, took a deep breath, and ordered his men to rush the wounded man to the hospital. If they were quick, the arm might be reattached. That was one of his core subordinates. It would be a pity to lose him like this. Just as Ninetails relaxed, thinking everything was arranged, a variable was quietly occurring. Under the night sky, Gareth Granger was looking for a place to rest. Suddenly, a figure appeared behind him. Gareth, where have you been? I've been looking everywhere for you. Gareth whirled around. The familiar fox mask reflected in his pupils. That fox face seemed to be mocking him. Seven Tails. No. Gareth's eyes turned red, teeth gritted. You are Leo Evans, aren't you? Leo was surprised. Oh, you figured it out. Leo decided not to pretend anymore. He took off the mask and looked at Gareth. Little Gary, have you forgotten our bond? Before, we gave each other our hearts and trusted each other's existence. Leo spoke with such sincerity that Gareth felt nauseous. Leo, I'll kill you. Endless rage surged in Gareth's heart. Since North Point, he had been played like a fiddle by Leo. Not only did he take the blame for Leo, but he was also deceived from start to finish. Now, seeing Leo right in front of him, Gareth could no longer suppress his anger. He had only one thought: kill Leo and tear him to pieces. Seeing Gareth charge, Leo turned and ran. Gareth, you ungrateful wretch. I was planning to fulfill my promise and give you the mithril pistol. You actually attacked me indiscriminately. You disappoint me too much. You simply betrayed my trust. From now on, I will never cooperate with someone untrustworthy like you again," Leo shouted as he ran. Hearing this, the fire in Gareth's heart burned hotter. "I'm untrustworthy? Do you want to ask the readers? I, a villain, am more trustworthy than you bastard. No, you're more like a villain than I am. From beginning to end, you haven't done a single human thing. Leo, I won't believe a single word you say anymore." Gareth roared. "Things have reached this point because you forced me. Even if I don't want the secret treasure, don't want the amber fruit, I will tear you apart." Hearing this, Leo sucked in a cold breath. "That's not good, is it? You don't want your dreams and ambitions. Then didn't your dad and the Granger family die in vain? Husky Gary, wake up. You are the only hope of the Granger family. You can't be blinded by hatred." "Leo," Gareth roared, "I'm going to rip your mouth off." Seeing this, Leo had to get serious. Gareth wasn't a pushover. If he messed around too much, he might actually get entangled. After all, the opponent's strength was on par with his. One slip up, and he'd be in trouble. At this moment, Gareth's remaining reason had been burned away. Ninetail's plan was completely thrown to the back of his mind. Nothing mattered more than the satisfaction of killing Leo. The two chased each other, and under Leo's lead, they slowly approached the military camp. Meanwhile, on a certain road heading to the frontier, two black sedans were driving along the highway. Marco sat in the driver's seat, driving while looking distracted. "Mr. Reed, didn't Mr. Evans say that Eight Tails was going to attack us? Isn't it a bit too dangerous for us to drive toward the frontier so openly?" Julian chuckled softly. "Don't worry, it'll be fine." He looked into the rearview mirror. In the car behind them, Sterling sat in the passenger seat, staring blankly at the scenery outside the window. "The frontier. I've forgotten how many years it's been since I came here," Sterling whispered. In the back seat, Dr. Horace Kane nodded. "Last time we came here was several years ago, because of that incident with Louis." Hearing this, the eyes of the three men, including Master Silas, showed nostalgia. However, the next second, chaos erupted. Bang! A gunshot rang out. A bullet struck nearby. As if a horn had sounded, a storm of bullets followed, raining down on them. Eight Tails had made his move. On the highway, facing the sudden ambush, Marco and Master Silas displayed superb driving skills. Pedal to the metal. As if reenacting Fast and Furious, they wove through the hail of bullets accompanied by the roar of engines. "Huh. I spent a fortune modifying this car. These bullets are just drizzle." Silas laughed as he floored it. At the same time, he looked at Julian's car ahead with surprise. That guy named Marco, his driving skills were no worse than his own. If he knew that Marco was currently steering with one hand, he would be even more shocked. Soon, they successfully broke out of the bullet storm. The dense gunfire ceased, as if the enemy had retreated. "Sterling, what now?" Silas frowned. "Looking at this, there are probably many ambushes along the way. Definitely more than just this little trick." Sterling leaned his elbow on the window, resting his chin on his hand, and said calmly, "Just keep driving forward." Hearing this, Silas didn't say more and focused on driving. Sure enough, the attack just now was merely an appetizer. Along the way, they encountered numerous attacks again. Silas's face grew uglier. Although his two modified cars were tough, they couldn't withstand this forever. If this continued, the cars would break down before they reached the frontier. Once the cars stalled, they would be sitting ducks. However, Sterling remained unhurried, his face showing no ripples of emotion, which calmed Silas slightly. "Sterling, quit playing with me. Whatever card you have, show it." Silas turned his head. Sterling glanced at him. "If I had a card, your car wouldn't look like this." Silas's expression froze. What do you mean? You don't have a trump card? No backup plan? I'm only human, not a god. Do you really think I'm omnipotent? Then you told me to just drive forward? If you don't drive forward, can you drive backward? Sterling's words left Silas completely confused. Before he could speak, gunfire rang out again. He had to focus on the steering wheel and slam the gas. However, Silas's worst fear happened. After enduring so many attacks, the cars reached their limit. Sheath. Silas slammed the gas, but the car didn't respond. Suddenly, a crowd emerged from all directions, aiming guns at them in unison. Then, Eight Tails, wearing a mask, slowly walked out from behind the crowd. Seeing Eight Tails appear, Sterling let out a long sigh and unbuckled his seatbelt. "Sterling, what are you doing?" "What else?" Sterling pointed out the window, matter-of-factly. "Look at the situation. Of course, go out and surrender. Get captured. Didn't you see Julian got out?" Silas heard this and followed his finger. Sure enough, Julian and Marco had already opened their doors and stepped out, hands raised in surrender. Click! Sterling opened the door and stepped out. He ignored the surrounding guns and didn't look at Eight Tails. Instead, he looked straight at the distant scenery. That was the frontier. Sterling, do you have any last words? Eight Tails looked at Sterling. Although the leader said it's best to capture you alive, I think you are too dangerous, so it's better to just kill you. Sterling said nothing. He fished a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and lit one for himself. It was Patriarch Sheen's favorite brand when he was alive, but it was harsh. Cough, cough, cough. I really can't smoke this kind. Sterling tossed the cigarette away, then turned to look at Eight Tails. Sorry, got a bit sentimental. What'd you say just now? I didn't hear. He asked if you had any last words. Julian answered expressionlessly for Eight Tails. Last words? Let me think. Sterling put on a thoughtful expression. Just as he was about to speak, Eight Tails interrupted him. Enough. It ends here. Eight Tails' voice was indifferent. I'm not interested in listening anymore. Do it. As the voice fell, gunfire erupted. Bang, bang, bang. Bullets flew from all directions, but they didn't attack Sterling. Instead, they hit Eight Tails' men. What? Eight Tails' pupils constricted sharply. An ambush. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. But who was the oriole? Soon, the group that had surrounded them was wiped out in an instant. Fast, accurate, ruthless. In the blink of an eye, only Eight Tails remained on his side. Sterling said flatly, Did you forget that this is the area around the frontier? I have quite a few old acquaintances at the frontier. As his voice fell, a group of fully armed soldiers rushed out from all directions. At the same time, a military off-road vehicle drove up nearby. A man with graying hair, but a resolute face, jumped out of the car. Seeing the man, Sterling smiled and greeted him. Long time no see, General White. General White glanced at Sterling and snorted. Nothing good happens when you come to the frontier. Plenty of people here hate you. Sterling smiled bitterly. Lots of people hate me. Do I have to hide from all of them? General White ignored him and looked solemnly at Eight Tails. You are from the Vulture organization? General White. The moment Eight Tails saw General White, he understood many things. No wonder Sterling was fearless. He had contacted General White long ago and was waiting for Eight Tails to take the bait. Seeing Eight Tails being taken down, Silas finally let out a huge sigh of relief. He stared at Sterling complainingly. Didn't you say you had no backup? I didn't, Sterling said matter-of-factly. I just made a phone call to General White. I didn't know if the old man would come, so I had to gamble. Fortunately, our General White is nostalgic. He couldn't bear to see his old friends in trouble, so he came to save us. Hearing this, General White turned his head to look at Sterling's group. Silas, Horace. His gaze fell on these two. General White. Horace nodded in greeting. General White, long time no see. Silas scratched his head simply. However, General White didn't give them a friendly face. He snorted and got back into the car. Silas saw this and muttered secretly. That incident was so many years ago. He's still angry. Inside the district encampment, Sergeant Mad Dog Wu stared at the empty grounds and took a deep breath. Sir, all 27 squads have entered the woods. The team competition has officially begun. The camp supervisor approached and reported. Most of our personnel have followed them in to monitor. Mad Dog nodded slightly. At this point, they could only roll with the punches. Leo, can you actually pull off a miracle? Mad Dog muttered. He didn't know why Leo Evans had left the camp alone or what he was up to, but he knew the kid was walking into a lion's den. He just hoped Leo would make it out in one piece. Gareth, why are your eyes so red? Are you part rabbit or something? Hey Gareth, you want a carrot? I can pull a few from the field up ahead for you. Come on, Gareth. You're almost catching up to me. Catch me, and I'll give you the mithril pistol. Leo was kiting Gareth Granger like a mob in a video game, constantly taunting him to keep his rage levels high. Clearly, this tactic worked wonders on Gareth. Earlier, Sterling had used Gareth's short temper to play him like a fiddle. Now it was Leo's turn. If Gareth could have controlled his emotions and stayed calm, he might have noticed something was off. But right now, his mind was consumed by a red haze of fury. He wanted nothing more than to butcher Leo Evans. Leo led Gareth on a chase around the perimeter of the camp. Checking the time and deciding it was about right, he pulled out his phone and sent a message to Harvey Gundam. Because of this distraction, he almost got sliced in half by Gareth's blade. Whoa, can't let my guard down for a second. Leo felt a shiver of fear. Gareth was attacking like a rabid dog. Getting caught now would be catastrophic. Leo abruptly changed direction, leading Gareth straight toward the main camp. At that moment, Harvey, having received Leo's signal, immediately dialed Mad Dog. Mad Dog saw the unknown number on his phone, frowned slightly, but answered. Hello. Hello, Sergeant Wu. I'm with Leo Evans. Don't speak, just listen. Mad Dog's expression turned serious. What Harvey said next drained the blood from his face. The Vulture organization plans to blow up the camp. Mr. Evans is currently leading Gareth Granger toward your location. The Vulture's Ninetails is also making a move on the squads in the woods. That single sentence made Mad Dog's scalp tingle. How did the situation spiral out of control so fast? He wasn't prepared for this at all. Well, technically, Mad Dog had made some preparations. But after hearing Harvey's intel, he realized his preparations weren't just inadequate. They were useless. Holy shit! Mad Dog held his breath for a long moment, realizing those were the only words that fit his current mood. Harvey continued quickly. In short, per Mr. Evans's instructions, you need to evacuate everyone you can. Clear the camp. Completely. Clear the camp? What does Leo plan to do? Based on my guess, Mr. Evans might be planning to blow up the camp himself. What? Mad Dog's eyes bulged, his face a mask of disbelief. What the hell did that mean? The Vulture wants to blow up the camp. So Leo Evans is going to blow it up too? Do you people think my base is a demolition site? All right, Sergeant, that's the message. You handle the arrangements. I have work to do. Harvey hung up. Mad Dog didn't even know the guy's name. Sir, what's wrong? The supervisor asked cautiously from the side. You look terrible. Mad Dog didn't have time to explain. He shouted, move. Get everyone out of the camp immediately. Evacuate the premises. Tell Captain Invincible to take Leo's friends and get out now. Notify the personnel monitoring the woods to be on high alert. Ninetails has likely already infiltrated the area. Do it now. Don't ask why, just go. The supervisor, though confused, understood the severity of the order and rushed to execute it. Captain Invincible, Zhao received the news directly from Mad Dog via phone. Get your people and leave the camp. Leo, that lunatic is going to blow this place sky high. Zhao was dumbfounded. What do you mean? While Zhao stood there stunned, Ava Reed, Adrian, and the others, having overheard the call, were already packing their gear with practiced efficiency. Shane Quill, the North Point prophet, sensed something was wrong. He swallowed hard and cast a divination for himself with a heavy expression. When he saw the result, Shane couldn't hold back anymore. He wanted to slap himself in the face. Damn you, Leo. Damn these omens. The heavens have misled me. Shane never dreamed fate would play him like this. Back in North Point, he had predicted a bloody calamity for himself. To avoid it, he had cast another fortune which led him to Leo, thinking Leo was his lifeline. But fate wasn't so easily cheated. He might have dodged the first calamity, but thanks to Leo, a much bigger, bloodier disaster was heading his way. And Leo was the one bringing it. Shane suddenly recalled the details. Right, the divination showed that while Leo was a path to life, death was hidden behind life. Fortune and misfortune are intertwined. Damn it, if I'd known this, I would have just stayed in North Point. Shane wanted to cry, but had no tears. Was this karma? He had scammed people with fortune-telling for so long, and now he was being scammed by his own prophecy. Whatever goes around comes around. Zhao didn't have time to sympathize. He immediately led Ava and the others toward the exit. In the chaos, however, Zhao failed to notice a pair of eyes watching his every move from the shadows. Invincible Zhao. Chizuru Kiri recognized Zhao instantly. He could tell the captain was injured, badly. If he could eliminate Zhao here, it would be a massive merit for the organization. And that woman, his gaze shifted to Ava Reed. That was Ninetail's target. She's pretty, but she's just a woman. An easy target. Chizuru calculated silently. It wasn't the right time to strike. They were still too close to the camp, and he needed to find Shiro Kiri first. He decided to wait and watch. Meanwhile, someone else was having a breakdown. No, where the hell did that bastard Gareth run off to? Just as the operation was about to launch, Ninetails received news that Gareth Granger had vanished. He was losing his mind. Son of a bitch. Gareth Granger is a complete liability. I have never met anyone so unreliable. Ninetails cursed vividly, gasping for breath, looking ready to stroke out. His subordinates kept their heads down, not daring to utter a word. No one wanted to be the lightning rod for his rage right now. Ninetails took a deep breath, forced himself to calm down, and finally spoke. Forget him. Proceed with the original plan. Split into two groups. One group goes to ambush the squads in the woods. The rest of you, come with me to hit the camp. With that, Ninetails led his portion of the forces toward the military encampment, while the other wave headed for the forest. Meanwhile, inside the forest, the 27 squads had no idea what was happening outside. The team competition was in full swing. Kane, still disguised as Leo Evans, had rendezvoused with Ethan Xie and his team. Both groups found a resting spot to catch their breath and discuss their next move. Old Xie. Kane looked at Ethan with deep concern. I don't know why, but I've got this panic in my chest. It won't go away. Ethan nodded grimly. Me too. Whenever that guy isn't in my line of sight, I get this overwhelming sense of impending doom. Nearby, Lieutenant Sarge, Sue, and his men were roasting fish they'd caught in the river. Regarding the fact that this Leo was an imposter, Sarge, Sue, and Private Cloud had only one reaction when they found out. So what? If Captain Leo did it, he must have his reasons. As squad members, they just needed to do their jobs. Their philosophy remained the same. Kill everything in sight. As for who was doing the killing, they didn't care. They just handled the execution. They were, after all, soldiers trained by Carol, Evans, and Leo. Kane sighed heavily. I ran into Bill Zane earlier. He said Leo had made a pact with him to form an alliance for the team competition to kick everyone else out first. Ethan raised an eyebrow. So what did you tell him? What could I say? I said plans changed, alliance off. Kane spread his hands helplessly. Bill called me a shameless scumbag right to my face. But he didn't dare fight me, so he just took his people and left. Ethan asked curiously, did he call you a scumbag? Or Leo? Leo, obviously. Kane looked at him like he was stupid. I'm wearing Leo's face. Naturally, Leo takes the blame for everything. Ethan gave Kane a thumbs up. If he had known it was this fun, he would have volunteered to impersonate Leo. Imagine causing absolute chaos and letting Leo take the heat for all the crimes. Just thinking about it brought him joy. All right, let's move. Ethan saw they were rested enough. He stood up and dusted himself off. Anyway, the way I see it, this competition probably won't finish normally. Everyone relax. Treat it like a field trip. Sarge, Sue, and the others heard this and felt a sense of déjà vu. This Captain Xie from the Violet Creek district. His style was terrifyingly similar to a certain someone. Under Mad Dog's command, most of the personnel in the camp were evacuated quickly. Only a few remained. Sir, almost everyone is out. We should go too, the supervisor shouted to Mad Dog. Mad Dog frowned. Speaking slowly, you go ahead. I can't leave yet. Shirokiri was still in the basement, and Mad Dog had unfinished business. The supervisor gritted his teeth. Then I'll stay with you. No, the fewer people in the camp, the better. Also, report this situation to the frontier. Melto sighed deeply. Things have gone far beyond my expectations. We have to request reinforcements. If it weren't absolutely necessary, he wouldn't ask for help from the frontier. He had done a lot of things behind their backs. The supervisor hesitated for a split second, then nodded. Yes, sir. I will complete the mission. He turned and ran. Left alone, Mad Dog rubbed his temples, his face full of worry. He finally understood why Sterling had looked so defeated back then. Leo Evans was truly uncontrollable. I asked you for help, and your solution is to blow up my base? Who the hell can work with you? Sigh, nothing to do but try to clean up the mess. Mad Dog returned to his office with a miserable expression and opened a locker containing his combat gear. As a special operative on the Frontier's blacklist, his strength was not to be underestimated. In favorable conditions, even Captain Invincible Zhao might not beat him. Mad Dog drew his sidearm and slowly prepared for battle. On the other side, Louis was also making his move. But on the way to the camp, his team encountered an anomaly. They ran into the massive group evacuating from the camp. Stop! Don't make a sound. Louis commanded his team to set down the explosives and hide in the shadows, observing with a frown. What was happening? Why was the camp evacuating? Louis even spotted a few familiar faces. Ava, what is Leo's little wife doing here? And Captain Zhao. Louis's gaze lingered on Zhao, pausing for a moment, visibly affected. Someone next to him whispered, What's the call? Do we still blow it up? Louis raised an eyebrow. Of course. Vulture 5's order was to blow up the camp. He didn't say anything about whether people had to be inside or not. After Zhao and the others passed, Louis signaled his team to continue moving the explosives toward the camp. However, they hadn't moved far when a voice spoke up. You people are planning to blow up the camp. Everyone startled. The voice was speaking Japanese. Suddenly, a blade flashed, cutting through the air straight toward Louis. Clang! Louis drew a short knife, blocking the sudden attack. When he saw the attacker's face, his pupils constricted violently. Chizuru Kiri, what are you doing here? You know me? Chizuru's eyes filled with curiosity. With skills like that, you're definitely on the blacklist. You're wearing a disguise? Who are you? Louis frowned, turning his head to shout. Take the explosives and go. Continue the mission. I'll hold them off. Hearing this, his team immediately grabbed the crates and fled, leaving only Louis and Chizuru. Chizuru moved to draw his gun, but realizing he might accidentally detonate the explosives, he stopped. Instead, he drew a katana from his waist and charged toward the fleeing men. However, Louis intercepted him with a slash, forcing Chizuru to retreat. Little mustache, you've got good luck. Louis twirled the knife in his hand, a mocking grin on his face. I haven't had a real fight in years. You'll make good practice. Chizuru frowned, his eyes locking onto the knife in Louis's hand. When he saw the emblem engraved on the blade, his eyes widened in shock. In his mind, a blurred figure from the past overlapped with the man in front of him. He looked at Louis in disbelief. That knife. That's his knife. Who are you? You can't be him. He's dead. He's dead. Who are you really? Chizuru Kiri frowned deeply, staring intently at the short blade in Louis's hand. He would never forget the white bellflower pattern engraved on that knife. It belonged to the former #1 assassin on the Chinese blacklist, codenamed the Bellflower, a legendary figure with a massive bounty on his head in multiple countries. But that man should have died long ago. That man should have been publicly executed bearing the brand of a traitor. Yet today, Chizuru saw the knife again. He saw the long-lost Bellflower emblem. Memories flooded back like a tidal wave. Years ago, while undercover in a foreign nation, he had crossed paths with the Bellflower, who had the same objective. That skill, that ferocious offensive style, he would never forget it in this lifetime. And now, the figure of the man before him was merging perfectly with the memory from years ago. You are the Bellflower? You guessed it, Louis said, launching an attack. The short blade moved as if it were an extension of his arm, striking at Chizuru from impossible angles. Chizuru grew more alarmed with every block strike. While dodging, his internal suspicions solidified into certainty. This movement, this attack style, those habitual feints. Chizuru observed Louis's every move. Finally, after blocking a lethal slash, Chizuru spoke with absolute conviction. You are the Bellflower? You didn't die. Louis grinned. I'm your daddy. Come on, say it. Call me daddy. Chizuru was Japanese, but as an elite operative, he understood Chinese perfectly. Hearing the insult, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and he spun around, sprinting away. Trying to run? Louis started to chase, but suddenly stopped, remembering something. He watched the direction Chizuru fled, his eyes flickering. You Japanese types always pick the dark, rat-hole places to hide. I've had enough of it. I'm not afraid of your assassination arts, but I have actual work to do. Go play by yourself. He turned and walked toward the camp. He was, after all, a diligent member of the Vulture. Completing the mission was priority #1. Speaking of diligent Vulture members, another one was about to reach the camp. Or rather, one of the 9 tails, Vulture 7. Gareth Granger. I have ambushed 10,000 troops inside this camp. If you dare to follow me in, I will leave you without a whole corpse. Leo roared back at Gareth, his voice dripping with intimidation. Then, he sprinted inside the camp gates. Hearing this, Gareth immediately stopped in his tracks. This moment, this scene, it was terrifyingly similar to what happened in the chaotic town near North Point. Back then, Leo had also screamed that he had an ambush of 10,000 troops. But Gareth and President Morgan hadn't taken it seriously and charged in. The result? The town blew up. Once bitten, twice shy. Even Gareth couldn't help but stop and weigh his options. Seeing Gareth hesitate, Leo was dumbfounded. What's going on? Did that husky actually start using his brain? Leo sucked in a cold breath, finding it incredible. Husky, get in here. The old you wasn't this indecisive. No, I need to provoke him. So Leo ran back to the gate and screamed at the top of his lungs, Gareth, go fuck your mother. Simple, crude, direct, clear. The most concise foul language, the ultimate enjoyment. Leo believed that with Gareth's personality, even if he knew there was a trap, he wouldn't be able to resist that. What? You asked what if he holds it in? No problem. Leo had a stash of unprintable profanities he could yell for 30 minutes without repeating a single one. What? You asked what if Gareth still holds it in? That's not my problem. I get a vent, and whether the person being scolded enjoys it or not is none of my business. Sure enough, Leo's simple forward phrase reignited Gareth's fury. Leo, I will not rest until one of us is dead. With that, he charged into the camp. Of course, Gareth hadn't completely lost his mind. His logic was simple. A lawless town like the one in North Point was understandable to blow up. It was full of criminals. But a military base during a major competition? Even Leo wouldn't blow this up, right? Since that was the case, he would deal with whatever tricks Leo had. Meanwhile, Mad Dog heard the commotion and quietly hid in the shadows, spotting Leo. "Hey, over here," Mad Dog signaled. "Old Woo." Leo paused. "You haven't left? Why would I leave? Shirokiri is still here, and aren't you here too?" Mad Dog said self-righteously. "I'm a special operative, after all. At the very least, I can provide support." Hearing this, Leo's eye twitched. He looked at Mad Dog like he was looking at an idiot. "I don't need support. I'm about to flip the damn table." Old Woo. Leo didn't know what to say. In the time they wasted talking, Gareth had already stormed in. He stopped not far from Leo, eyeing Mad Dog and Leo cautiously. He seemed worried about a trap. "That's Gareth Granger?" Mad Dog's eyes narrowed. "I know he's tough. If we join forces, if things go south, we can retreat strategically." Leo rolled his eyes. "Retreat? I'm gonna beat the crap out of him. You believe me?" Old Woo, you just watch from the side. Leo patted Mad Dog lightly and stepped forward with confidence. It's time I showed him my true power. Internally, he screamed, "System, hurry up and give me a cheat code. The kind that can beat the shit out of Gareth. Do you want ultimate bullshitting mastery? Top tier. Don't joke with me. You started it. Trash system." Leo cursed silently. In the end, he had to rely on himself. He pulled out the mithril pistol and waved it in front of Gareth. "Gareth, this is the mithril pistol you've been dreaming of. Want it?" Leo smirked, enunciating every word. "I am curious. Everyone wants this gun. If I threw this thing into the sewer, would you guys still fight over it so passionately?" Gareth and Mad Dog stared at Leo in shock. Be a human being for once. But in the next second, Leo suddenly sprinted in a specific direction. Gareth had a bad feeling. Sure enough, Mad Dog stared blankly and muttered, "That direction really is where the latrines are." Gareth's eyes widened, and he chased after Leo like his life depended on it. "Leo, you stop right the fuck now." Outside the camp, Louis intended to head in and execute the original plan. Suddenly, a white cat shot out from nowhere, nearly jump-scaring him by bouncing off his face. "Whoa!" Louis flinched, but relaxed when he saw the small white cat. "What the hell, just a cat." He sighed in relief and prepared to move on. But the cat ran in front of him again, gesturing wildly like a human. Louis squinted at it for a long time, utterly baffled. "I say, do you want a sausage or something?" Spike froze, his gestures halting midair. Then, he opened his mouth and cursed. "Meow. Moron. But I don't have any sausages." "Meow. Screw your sausages. I'm talking about serious business." "Don't bother me, I'm busy." Louis pushed Spike aside and continued walking. Spike glared at Louis's back, teeth itching to bite. Instead, he picked up a small rock and chucked it at Louis. Thwack! The rock hit the back of Louis's head. He winced, spun around, and scanned the area, finally locking eyes with the white cat. "You threw that." Louis gritted his teeth. "I'm giving you too much leeway. If I weren't afraid of animal rights activists coming after me, I'd beat the crap out of you." Spike looked at him with disdain, then picked up a twig and started drawing in the dirt. Louis paused, then leaned in to observe the drawing. Spike drew a smiley face, one filled with cunning and insidiousness. That disgusting smile. "Thou!" Spike snapped his head up and nodded frantically, almost giving Louis a thumbs up. "Meow. Meow. Bro, you get me." Next, Spike pointed toward the distant camp and made an exploding motion with his paws. It was abstract, but since Louis had already guessed Leo, the connection was easy to make. Louis's eyes darted around. After a moment of hesitation, he asked, "You're saying Leo is going to blow up the camp?" "Meow. Bingo." Spike gave Louis an affirming look. Normally, Louis would think he was insane for communicating with the cat. But since this was Leo's cat, it made sense. Like owner, like pet. No issues there. If that's the case, shouldn't I get far away? Louis muttered to himself. After all, the people delivering the explosives were almost at the camp, and a military base would have its own munitions. If Leo messed around with that. Shit, no wonder Captain Zhao ran out of there. I was wondering why everyone was evacuating. They were clearing the stage for that guy. Louis realized the truth immediately. He had planned to diligently complete his mission, but now, screw the mission. Go in there? To die. Wait, from a certain perspective, wouldn't this count as completing the mission? Louis raised an eyebrow. Vulture 5 just wanted the camp blown up. Who blew it up didn't matter. Professional work should be left to professionals. Thinking this, Louis felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He didn't have to do anything. He just had to wait for Leo to blow the place sky high and go back to report success. But Leo did me such a huge favor. I can't owe him a debt, right? Louis looked back over his shoulder. Since I got time, I'll go play with that little Japanese guy. Spike saw this and followed Louis. His job here was done. He was going to find Ava. Leo, stop right there. Gareth roared at Leo. You wasteful bastard. Aren't you afraid of karma? Leo replied with disdain. Karma? If that thing existed, you should be the one afraid, right? Did you forget you killed your own dad? By the way, what was his name again? It's been so long I forgot. Suddenly, Leo stopped talking and halted his steps. He looked at the figure blocking his path and sighed helplessly. Why the hell are you everywhere? President Morgan, are you part Jack in the Box? Always popping up at the weirdest times. Standing in front of Leo was none other than President Morgan, also known as the Nightmare. Leo, I have no quarrel with you. I just want the mithril pistol. Morgan paused, then added, also, I'm a snake in the zodiac, not a Jack in the Box. Leo blinked. He noticed that the current Morgan seemed more human than back in New York City, less like the monster known as the Nightmare. But that's not the point, is it? Leo rubbed his temples, exhausted. Zodiac signs and horoscopes might work for fooling that blind guy, but I'm an atheist. If zodiac signs actually worked, 80% of the world would be beasts of burden. The boss would be a dog. Some women would be tigers. Anyway, none of them would be human. Leo sometimes wondered if animals had zodiac signs based on humans. His damn curiosity spiked again. I'll have to ask that stupid cat later if Cat Society has a tuna sign. Just then, Vulture 5's men, the ones delivering the explosives, arrived at the camp. Originally, they were terrified of storming the base, but seeing the evacuation on the way gave them courage. What was there to fear? Just march through the front gate. Indeed, no one stopped them. They swaggered in carrying crates of explosives. However, seeing Leo and the others, they paused. Holy crap, there are still people here. So what? Just 4 of them. Killing them will be child's play. Where's Louis? Is he dead? Who cares about him? Even if he's not dead, he probably chickened out. The group discussed loudly, not taking Leo's group of 4 seriously at all. Are you kidding? We have dozens of men armed with heavy weapons. They have 4 guys with knives. Not a gun in sight. Easy pickings. Suddenly, someone shouted, Brothers, attack. Taking this camp will be a massive merit. Facing the ferocious appearance of Vulture 5's gang, Leo and the others remained surprisingly calm. However, in the gang's eyes, this calmness looked like they were frozen in fear, so they laughed even more arrogantly. Ha ha! You 4, I'll give you a chance. One of them spoke up. Surrender now. Get on your knees and kowtow a few times, and we might consider not killing you. Of course, you have to cooperate with everything we do. Understand? Why isn't anyone talking? Hey, you over there, pretty boy. Did you hear me? Get over here and kowtow. Or, do you want to die? They scanned the 4 men and decided to start with Leo. Kill the chicken to scare the monkeys. Leo, who had his back to them, turned around impatiently at their shouts. What's with all the chirping? You delivered the explosives. Now leave. You planning to stay for dinner? Also, who the hell just called me pretty boy? Step forward. I hate it when people call me a pretty boy. Hearing this, the man who had shouted paused, then burst into laughter along with the others. Oh, this kid is arrogant, huh? Too young and aggressive. Can't read the room. I say we don't spare him. Just kill him. You're alone, and you dare act tough? So what if I call you pretty boy? Pretty boy, pretty boy, pretty. The man calling Leo a pretty boy didn't even finish his sentence. Leo moved suddenly, a crimson pistol appearing in his hand. It was the Manjashaka, the blood-red gun representing death. In the next second, Leo pulled the trigger without hesitation. The bullet erupted from the muzzle. Bang! With a single gunshot, before anyone could react, the bullet pierced the man's forehead. The man's eyes widened in disbelief as he fell backward, dead before he hit the ground. He didn't understand how that pretty boy could draw so fast, so accurately. What? Something's wrong. Attack. Damn it, how did he shoot? I didn't even see him move. This guy's a prickly pear. Get him together. There was no time to mourn the dead man. Leo's sudden strike made them all realize something was wrong. Gareth, who had been watching the show, suddenly saw several men charging at him. He frowned. He shot you. Why are you coming for me? Shut up, you all die, someone replied. Clearly, some of the smarter ones realized Leo wasn't to be trifled with, so they chose other targets. But what they didn't know was that of the 4 people present, not a single one was to be trifled with. If they had used their brains, they would have realized, why had everyone else evacuated, leaving only these 4? Danger was imminent. With the involvement of the gang, the 4 men who had been at each other's throats now began to fight back, cleaning up these useless hacks. Leo was initially worried Mad Dog couldn't handle it and prepare to help. But when he looked over, Mad Dog was on a rampage. Damn, old Wu is fierce. Leo raised an eyebrow. This special operative title has some real gold content. I thought he got it through connections. If Mad Dog heard this, he might have vomited blood from anger. Special operative? You think you can get that through connections? Even if your dad was the commander-in-chief, it wouldn't matter. You had to survive multiple near-death experiences to earn it. Currently, across the entire frontier, there had only been 9 special operatives in history. That included the ones who died in action. Alive, including him and Captain Zhao, there were only 5. Leo fought his way closer to Mad Dog. Old Wu, you run. Run as far as you can, Leo whispered to Mad Dog. With you here, it's hard for me to make my move. Mad Dog glanced at him. What does that mean? Am I a burden? I stayed because I was worried about you. Good intentions fed to the dogs. I can't leave yet. Sweat beaded on Mad Dog's forehead. He was struggling. Shirokiri is still in the basement. He can't die. Leo was speechless. That guy's still here. Didn't I tell people to notify you to evacuate? Could you be any later with that notice? Mad Dog raised his voice. I moved fast. Any slower and your wife wouldn't have made it out. As his voice fell, a bullet flew over his head, scaring Mad Dog into a cold sweat. Damn it, focused on talking to Leo and almost got taken out. Rat-a-tat-tat. Just then, intense gunfire erupted. They looked over to see several heavy machine guns set up in the distance. More people were invading the camp from all directions. It's Ninetail's men. Our backup is here. Brothers of the Vulture, these guys are tough. Give us suppressing fire. Go all out. There's just 4 of them. We can win. Bring up my Italian cannon. Fire. Facing the sudden increase in firepower, Leo and the others frowned, switching from offense to defense, scrambling for cover. Gareth switched to open mic mode. Fuck you, Ninetails. You're shooting at me too. In the distance, Ninetail's face was dark and silent. I'm shooting at exactly who I intend to. You didn't follow the plan. Why are you here? I went crazy looking for you, and you're here playing house. Increase firepower. Ninetails commanded heavily. Those 4 aren't ordinary people. Do not let your guard down, especially Leo Evans. Focus fire on him. As the order dropped, the bullet rain around Leo thickened. Fuck, Leo roared. Ninetails, did I kill your dad? Why are you targeting me? There's a massive frontier special operative over there, and you don't kill him, you kill me. Do you look down on Sergeant Mad Dog Wu? Or do you think he's not worthy of your attention? Hearing this, Mad Dog, hiding not far away, stared at Leo in disbelief. You motherfucker. Shut your damn mouth. I can't handle this firepower. Soon, Leo found cover. He looked toward Gareth, who was also hiding, and rolled his eyes. Gareth, Morgan, Vulture 5's goons, Ninetails. Basically, everyone who should be here was here. It was time to throw the meat bun and let the dogs fight over it. Leo grinned wickedly and pulled out the mithril pistol, waving it at Gareth. Seeing this, Gareth felt a sense of impending doom. Why is this guy pulling out the mithril pistol now? Sure enough, under Gareth's gaze, Leo suddenly roared. Ninetails, stop shooting, I surrender. You guys want the mithril pistol? Fine, I'll give it to you. With that, Leo hurled the mithril pistol into the air with all his might. Take it. I don't want it anymore. With that shout, the mithril pistol arced through the air. For a moment, countless eyes locked onto the weapon mid-flight. Everyone was in disbelief. Leo actually threw the mithril pistol away at a time like this. Damn it, Leo, you son of... Gareth cursed loudly. If you don't want it, give it to me. Don't throw it out there. However, President Morgan ignored everything else and rushed out first, intending to snatch the gun. Seeing this, Gareth couldn't worry about anything else. Even with bullets raining down, he had to bite the bullet and go for it. Oomph. Don't let them get near that gun. Ninetails snorted coldly, ordering immediately. Everyone, use whatever means necessary to get that gun. Instantly, all firepower concentrated on Morgan and Gareth. Under such heavy fire, getting the pistol, or even getting close to it, was nearly impossible. Ninetails. Screw you, Gareth screamed. Aren't we partners? If I get the gun, isn't it good for you too? Partners my ass. Ninetails shouted back. You killed your own father. Who dares to sincerely partner with you? The entire Vulture organization knows exactly what you people are like. The one with no moral baseline is Leo Evans. And right behind him is you, Gareth Granger. The leader specifically warned us that we can't believe a single word from either of you. Hearing this from his hiding spot, a giant question mark popped up over Leo's head. He hadn't planned to speak, but he couldn't hold back. Ninetails. That is slander. Pure slander. I'm suing you for defamation. Your entire organization is prejudiced against me. Why am I ranked lower than Gareth? At least I didn't kill my dad, right? Shut the hell up, Gareth roared. You bring this up every single day. Aside from that, what bad things have I done? And that old bastard tried to kill me first. Even a tiger doesn't eat its cubs. Was I wrong to kill him in self-defense? You paint me as the villain constantly. I killed my dad, and he didn't say anything. So why do you have an opinion? He really couldn't take it anymore. God knew how aggrieved he felt. Every time, Leo used this to trigger him, painting him as a monster. He just wanted the mithril pistol to get the amber fruit and fix his physical defects. What did he do wrong? Even in North Point, he was treated like a rat crossing the street. The key point was, all those terrible things were done by Leo. Gareth was just the scapegoat. Leo Evans was the real villain who had done every bad deed imaginable. Leo snorted, disdain dripping from his voice. Excuses. Naked excuses. Gareth, at a time like this, you're trying to whitewash yourself? What's that saying? Even if a fish gets on land, it still stinks of fish. Anyway, I stand by my words. At least I didn't kill my dad. Leo Evans. Gareth ground his teeth so hard they nearly shattered. Sooner or later, I'm going to rip that mouth off your face. Morgan remained silent, focused solely on trying to grab the gun. But with the three factions deadlocked, the pistol lay there untouched. Mad Dog watched from a distance, reduced to a spectator. That mouth really is dipped in poison. He shook his head, marveling. Anyone who gets into an argument with that kid might just die of anger. Suddenly, he had an idea. Back at the frontier, weren't there some people who acted all high and mighty? Maybe he could let Leo loose on them later. Just then, Leo signaled Mad Dog with hand gestures. The meaning was roughly, you go first, I'll fight them. Mad Dog. He signaled back. Are you sure? Leo nodded with absolute certainty. Seeing this, Mad Dog didn't argue. Taking advantage of Leo drawing the fire, he quietly slipped away. His presence was low to begin with, and with Leo stealing the spotlight, barely anyone noticed him. Seeing Mad Dog leave, Leo checked the situation again. Morgan and Gareth were still trying to get the gun. Ninetails, with his superior firepower, had men closing in on it. But neither Gareth nor Morgan were pushovers. Whenever someone got close to the gun, they would strike instantly, killing the person regardless of the consequences. Several bodies already lay around the mithril pistol. Leo had an idea and shouted to Morgan. President Morgan, how about we team up? I'll hold off Gareth, you grab a gun. Morgan hesitated. Are you serious? With a three-way deadlock, if Leo helped, breaking the stalemate was actually possible. Of course I'm serious. Professor Miller is my teacher. In terms of hierarchy, I should call you Grandmaster. Is there a problem with that? Leo shouted. With our relationship, if I have to give the gun to someone, I'd definitely give it to you. Would I give it to Gareth or Ninetails? They aren't as close to me as you are. Morgan didn't agree immediately. You wouldn't help me unconditionally. What's your demand? Grandmaster, you're making it sound so transactional, Leo chuckled. But there's a tiny favor I need. Nothing big. I just hope you can help me escape safely. After all, Ninetails and Gareth definitely won't let me go. I don't want to get caught by them. I died a miserable death. Leo's words made Morgan frown slightly as he weighed the possibility of this deal. Before long, Morgan spoke. Fine, Leo, I agree. Help me get the mithril pistol, and I will do my utmost to help you escape. Hearing this, both Ninetails and Gareth were shocked. Morgan, did a donkey kick you in the head? Gareth's face went pale as he screamed. You trust Leo Evans? Ninetails also looked at Morgan in disbelief. Did you forget everything I just said? Partnering with Leo? You don't have enough lives to sell to him. Gareth couldn't fathom how Morgan, usually so calculating, could be foolish enough to trust Leo's words. Forget Gareth. Even Leo was a little surprised. He had just thrown it out there to try, not expecting Morgan to actually agree. With Leo's reputation, someone was actually willing to work with him. Grandmaster, rest assured, I definitely won't abandon you. Leo shouted with a face full of gratitude. For this trust alone, from now on, let bygones be bygones. Morgan didn't react much, simply stating flatly, then make your move. All right, let's do this. Leo roared and charged toward Gareth. According to the plan, he would block Gareth, while Morgan would break through Ninetails' line of fire to grab the gun. Damn it. Seeing the situation turning critical, Gareth shouted, Ninetails, don't let him succeed. Although he had just been cursing Ninetails, he couldn't let the mithril pistol slip away now. I don't need you to tell me. Ninetails snorted, immediately ordering all firepower to concentrate on Morgan. However, in that exact split second, Leo seized the opening. While everyone's attention was focused on Morgan, he violently changed direction. He didn't charge at Gareth. Instead, he ran straight for the camp exit. Leo, seeing this, Morgan roared in fury. You lied to me. Everyone was dumbfounded, staring blankly at the fleeing Leo. They knew he would backstab Morgan. But nobody expected the backstab to happen that fast. From cooperation to betrayal took less than 10 seconds. Old Morgan, I just remember Professor Miller told me he cut ties with you. Leo shouted apologetically as he ran. Although I don't want to abandon you, I can't betray my teacher. I'll leave the gun to you guys. Fight over it slowly. I'm going to find my wife. With that, Leo's figure disappeared from view. No one chased him, because chasing Leo meant giving up the fight for the mithril pistol. Whether it was Gareth, Morgan, or Ninetails, giving up the gun was absolutely impossible. That thing was worth much more than Leo's life. Gareth looked at Morgan like he was looking at an idiot. I told you your brain was kicked by a donkey. You believed anything coming out of Leo's mouth. Morgan looked like he had swallowed excrement. Wasn't this bullying an honest man? He had suspected Leo had ulterior motives, but he thought Leo wouldn't renege so quickly, at least not until the gun was secured. He had severely overestimated Leo's moral baseline. No, he had severely overestimated the existence of a baseline. Ninetails stared at the two men with burning eyes and spoke. Gentlemen, since that shit-stirrer Leo is gone, how about we talk? I'm not Leo. I think we can still negotiate a partnership, right? The resources in the North Point Horde are vast. One person can't take it all. Why don't you partner with a vulture? It's better than fighting and destroying each other, isn't it? Hearing this, both Morgan and Gareth frowned, seriously considering Ninetails' words. With Leo gone, they really could sit down and talk. Mr. Evans, over here. After breaking out of the camp, Leo saw Harvey waiting for him. Mr. Evans, your rifle. Harvey handed him a sniper rifle. As you instructed, the perimeter is rigged with explosives. My men also placed the explosives Vulture 5's team brought in key locations throughout the camp during the chaos. Leo nodded. Have your people evacuate, including yourself. Run as far as you can. Harvey nodded solemnly. Understood. My men will be clear in 3 minutes. He knew exactly how massive the quantity of explosives was. Once it went up, they'd probably see the mushroom cloud from North Point. Even Leo had to get far away before using the sniper rifle to detonate it, let alone the people currently inside the camp. Soon, Harvey confirmed his team was clear. Good, let's go. Leo led Harvey outward, running until he felt they were at a safe distance before stopping. This should be far enough. Leo found a high vantage point, set up the sniper rifle, and looked through the scope to find the detonation point Harvey had set up. Hitting that point would trigger a chain reaction. Every explosive in the camp would go off instantly. Inside, just as Gareth and the others were preparing to negotiate cooperation, Leo pulled the trigger. Bang! Accompanied by the muzzle flash, the bullet sliced through the air, hitting the detonation point with precision. In an instant, the whole world seemed to pause. Then, light erupted, followed by a deafening roar. Boom! 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 Explosions rang out like a chain of thunderclaps, kicking up massive shockwaves and heat. Even standing this far away, Harvey was nearly knocked off his feet. The scale of this explosion rivaled, or even exceeded, the time Sterling blew up Caldwell's Crossing. Those witnessing it stood frozen in place. Mad Dog watched the rising mushroom cloud and swallowed hard. We played too big this time, he muttered in despair. General White is going to kill me. Just then, several off-road vehicles drove toward him. The supervisor stuck his head out the window and waved. Sir, I brought the people from the frontier. His voice cut off as he saw the smoke. Had the explosion just... Mad Dog, turn around. Before he could speak, a man stepped out of the lead vehicle. Mad Dog sucked in a cold breath. Seeing the man's face, he cursed internally. You idiot. I told you to get help from the frontier. I didn't tell you to bring this guy. Of all people, you brought the most troublesome one. But cursing aside, Mad Dog took a deep breath, walked up obediently, and saluted. The man gave him a cold look, then gazed at the distant smoke. Even here, the heat hit them in the face. You're in big trouble, Mad Dog, the man said slowly. Mad Dog looked bitter. Apologies, Inspector White. This matter, I take full responsibility. Landon White glanced at him and spoke a single sentence. You alone can't carry this. Kaboom! The moment the camp exploded, Louis, Captain Invincible, Zhao, and the others were also drawn to the spectacle. Holy shit! Zhao's mouth twitched as he gulped. Old Wu is screwed. General White is going to skin him alive. Ava and the others, however, looked like they had seen this all before. Adrian calmly took out his phone and snapped a few photos of the mushroom cloud. What are you doing? Ava asked curiously. recording the beautiful moments of life, Adrian said expressionlessly. Everyone, several pairs of eyes looked at Adrian strangely. Bro, do you have a misunderstanding of what a beautiful life is? However, just as everyone relaxed their guard, a sharp dagger lunged toward Zhao. What? Zhao's pupils constricted. He hadn't expected an attack at this moment. When he saw the attacker clearly, he felt a chill. Chizuru Kiri. This guy had seized the split second of distraction caused by the explosion to launch a fatal strike when everyone was relaxed. His goal was clear. Use this opportunity to kill Captain Zhao. Damn, I can't dodge. Zhao watched the dagger getting closer, regretting his lapse in vigilance. He had survived the flight from the Southern Union until now. Was he going to die like this? Bang! Clang! In the nick of time, a gunshot rang out. A bullet struck the dagger with pinpoint accuracy, sending it spinning away with a crisp ring. Recovering instantly, Zhao seized the opening and slammed a heavy fist into Chizuru's gut. Although Chizuru reacted fast, the punch connected, eliciting a grunt of pain. He retreated quickly, opening the distance. The bellflower. He turned, gritting his teeth, staring at the figure emerging from behind a tree, fists clenched tight. Zhao followed his gaze. When he saw Louis, he froze. Combining the visual with Chizuru's words, he spoke with disbelief. The bellflower? You are. Sure. Louis put a finger to his lips, looking at Zhao. If you don't want to get beaten up by me like in the old days, keep your mouth shut. Zhao's brain short-circuited. It really was him. He was alive. But why? Zhao was completely confused. He couldn't read the situation at all. Bang! Another gunshot rang out. A bloody hole appeared in Chizuru's shoulder. Everyone was stunned. Who fired? Louis and Zhao froze. Neither of them had moved. When they looked at the shooter, they were dumbfounded. The shooter was Ava Reed. Facing everyone's gaze, Ava blinked her innocent eyes. My dad said, when facing danger, strike when they least expect it. Why? With my timing off. Silence fell over the group. Your timing wasn't just right. It was too damn right. No one expected Ava, this delicate-looking girl, to be so unexpectedly ruthless, including Louis and Zhao, who hadn't taken her seriously, only thinking to protect her. Even Chizuru hadn't considered her a threat. But who could have guessed that this harmless-looking white rabbit would shoot you when the tension was highest? Chizuru wanted to cry. The intel didn't mention this girl. Ava stared with wide, innocent eyes, the white Manjashaka pistol still aimed at Chizuru. Leo had kept the red one and given her the white one for self-defense. Leo swore his original intention really was just for self-defense. He definitely hadn't taught her this kind of opportunistic marksmanship. Chizuru was sweating bullets. He could tell Ava wasn't skilled with guns. Otherwise, she wouldn't have just hit his shoulder. Zhao had relaxed his guard, and Chizuru had done the same with Ava. Otherwise, with his skills, he never would have been hit. Without hesitation, Chizuru clutched his shoulder and ran. He didn't care about anything else. Staying meant death. Stop, Zhao shouted, preparing to give chase, but Louis blocked him. Don't chase. In your condition, who knows who'd kill who? Louis glanced at Zhao's injuries. How long since you changed those bandages? The wounds are starting to smell. Zhao frowned, then suddenly reached out to grab Louis's collar. Louis took a slow step back, causing Zhao to grab air. What? Biting the hand that feeds you. Cut the crap. What is going on? Zhao glared at Louis. Explain this to me. Why are you alive? And what's with this face? Louis raised an eyebrow, speaking lightly. Too lazy to explain. Just assume I'm dead. Zhao looked at the people behind him, then lowered his voice. I know you don't want your identity exposed. They can't hear us. You can tell me what happened. I can help you. Louis gave him a deep look, then whispered. You can't get involved in this. I can throw everything away. Can you? Captain Zhao, I have nothing left to lose. Do you? The calm words hit Zhao like a sledgehammer. Zhao's lips trembled. Recalling everything the man before him had gone through, he stayed silent. After a long while, he spoke, since you're alive. Can't you take a step back? Louis suddenly laughed. He patted Zhao on the shoulder, whispered a sentence in his ear, and turned to walk away. Zhao stared at his back, standing frozen in place, Louis's words echoing in his mind. Zhao, behind me are all their corpses. Take a step back. I'm afraid I'll step on them. In the forest, the 27 squads, originally engaged in the team competition, sensed something was wrong due to the commotion from the camp. Just then, Mad Dog's voice crackled over every team captain's radio. Listen up. This is Mad Dog. I am declaring the team competition canceled. You have a new temporary mission. You probably saw the explosion at the camp, but that's not the priority right now. A group of hostiles has infiltrated the forest you are in. I want you to root them all out, dead or alive. I've sent reinforcements to your location. Handle the situation on your end. I can't cover you right now. Over and out. After Mad Dog signed off, the expressions on the squad members' faces varied wildly. Kane and Ethan held their radios, looking toward a large tree nearby, where several corpses already lay scattered. TSK. That notification was way too slow. We already killed them, and now he tells us we're being invaded, Ethan complained. Some chief examiner. Why not wait until we're dead to notify us? Kane cradled his sniper rifle, yawning as he looked at the mushroom cloud rising from the camp. I said that kid was holding back something big. He said he was going to do something major, but I didn't expect this. Old Sia, which poor bastard do you think got caught in that? Ethan glanced at him and said coolly, I don't know about the others, but definitely you. Kane froze. What? You better pray they don't find out Leo caused this. That's a military base. Creating a massive explosion like that, they will absolutely pursue accountability. When that happens, you, the guy impersonating Leo Evans, will undoubtedly be considered an accomplice. Do you think I'll let you off? Ethan looked at Kane with sympathy. You're still gloating? Hearing this, Kane's smile stiffened instantly. Even now, he was wearing Leo's face. But barely anyone treated him like Leo anymore. Holy, you wouldn't screw me like that, right? Kane's lips trembled. I don't want to face a court-martial. Ethan spread his hands. I don't know. Good luck. Just then, Kane turned around to find Sarge, Sue, Private Cloud, and the others had already put distance between themselves and him. Just moments ago, they were putting arms around shoulders and bragging. Now, they pretended they didn't know him. You guys. Kane's eyes widened, pointing at them in disbelief. Kane, buddy, we're just pawns. We can't carry a burden that heavy. Sarge Sue smiled apologetically. Besides, honestly, we didn't know anything. Ignorance is bliss, right? At that moment, Kane deeply felt how black the hearts of these people were. Was there not a single good person left in this world? You bastards just said we were soulmates and want to be blood brothers. When trouble hits, you don't know me. Relax, Kane. Nothing will happen. You know that. Ethan laughed. Kane rolled his eyes, but stopped worrying too much. Jokes aside, none of them took it too seriously. The premise was if they found out Leo did it. What kind of person was Leo? Would he let you find out it was him? North Point was still issuing warrants for Gareth Granger. Hello. What explosion? I don't know anything. Sure enough, on the other side, Leo had received a call from Mad Dog. Landon White already knew the general situation, so he had Mad Dog call Leo. He wanted confirmation that the explosion was Leo's doing. As long as Leo admitted it, they could handle the matter by the book. Mad Dog knew Landon's thoughts perfectly well. If things developed that way, Leo would be in huge trouble. Honestly, he didn't want to make this call, but Landon was standing right next to him. Not calling would mean even bigger trouble. But to Mad Dog's surprise, Leo sounded like a completely different person on the phone. Hello, Sergeant Wu? Is something wrong? Are you okay? That explosion just now. What explosion? I don't know. Are you talking about the camp? I saw it. Did something happen? I'm still in the woods, participating in the team competition. Do you need my help with anything? Mad Dog was stunned. You are in the team competition? Are you bullshitting me right now? However, Landon White snatched the phone from Mad Dog, sneering. Leo Evans, you say you're in the competition? Then you surely heard the notification Mad Dog just broadcasted to the teams over the radio. Do you dare repeat exactly what Mad Dog just said to you all? Mad Dog screamed internally. Bad move. Leo definitely doesn't know about the broadcast. He's busted. But the next second, Leo's voice came from the phone, stunning everyone. Who the hell are you? What did you do to Sergeant Wu? Landon frowned. I'm an inspector sent from the frontier, Landon White. You say you're an inspector. I could say I'm the commander-in-chief. Anyone can brag over the phone. Leo, are you planning to play dumb? Landon's tone darkened. Blowing up a military camp will get you court-martialed. Oh wow, Mr. White, starting with slander right off the bat. Leo sounded furious. I heard you frontier types like to play dirty, but I didn't think you were this dirty. Can't catch the culprit, so you pin the crime on me. Let me tell you, Mr. White, justice lives in the hearts of the people. I've already recorded this call. Just you wait. When I get to the frontier, the first thing I'll do is sue you for defamation, slander, and malfeasance. I seriously suspect you are a member of the Vulture, trying to use this opportunity to take me out. I refuse to believe there isn't a clean place left under heaven to uphold justice for me. Just wait, White. Let's see which one of us ends up in court-martial. After the barrage of words, Leo hung up directly. Listening to the dial tone, Landon White stood frozen in place. Mad Dog was equally dumbfounded. After hanging up, Harvey asked curiously, Mr. Evans, who was that? Don't know. Some idiot named Landon White. Started off saying he was taking me to court-martial. Leo spread his hands innocently. I didn't do anything, and he throws a bucket of dirty water on me. Harvey stared silently into the distance where the black smoke was billowing larger, looking like a small mushroom cloud. Who the hell could survive that? And the culprit is standing right next to me, acting like it has nothing to do with him. Leo dusted himself off. Let's go. Time to join the team competition in the woods. Now, he just needed to switch identities back with Kane. Harvey nodded and followed Leo. They walked at a leisurely pace. By the way, Harvey, do you know this Landon White guy? Landon White? Let me think. Harvey rubbed his chin. On the frontier, the surname White isn't common. As far as I know, among the two commanders beside the commander-in-chief, one is named General White. He has extremely high prestige. Many call him General White or Old Man White. That General White has a son and a daughter. Could this Landon White be his son? Leo murmured, General White, a commander beside the chief. If Landon really is his son, and I sue him in military court, will this blow up into a huge incident? Harvey nodded. Definitely. If you really do that, Mr. Evans, the frontier will explode. Leo raised an eyebrow, about to say something, when he suddenly frowned. He stopped, turned to the side, and spoke. Why hide? Come out and say hi. Harvey's nerves tightened immediately, watching the direction vigilantly. Seeing no response, Leo fired a shot at a tree without hesitation. Bang! Swish! A figure leaped down from the tree, clutching a bleeding shoulder, looking at Leo warily. I'm just passing through. No hostility. Chizuru Kiri kept his eyes locked on Leo. This man exuded immense pressure. Even injured, Chizuru felt that even in his prime, he wouldn't be a match for the man in front of him. Preservation was the priority. Japanese? Leo heard the accent and raised an eyebrow. You wouldn't happen to be Chizuru Kiri. Chizuru felt a chill. This guy knew him. Just as he went on full alert, preparing to fight, Leo asked curiously, Why are you here? I waited for you for a long time, but you never showed up. What? Harvey looked at Leo blankly. What did that mean? Chizuru also frowned. He understood the Chinese, but not the meaning behind Leo's words. However, after a moment of contemplation, Leo smiled. Got it. So that's how it is. Looks like you're a smart one, too. Chizuru's gaze was heavy. What exactly are you talking about? Nothing. If you don't understand, forget it. Leo waved his hand, then turned to leave with Harvey, seemingly unafraid of a sneak attack. But after a few steps, Leo's voice rang out again. By the way, my name is Leo Evans. When you see Shiro Kiri later, tell him he owes me a favor. Chizuru's pupils constricted violently. A dagger appeared in his hand as he stared at Leo's back. This man knows everything. I have to kill him. However, Chizuru made no move. He took several deep breaths. His instinct screamed that if he attacked now, the one dying would likely be him. Plus, with his injury, causing a commotion here was unwise. After careful consideration, Chizuru slowly retreated, disappearing into the trees again. Meanwhile, around the camp, Landon White's face was dark as he looked at the ruins of the camp. His anger was rising. Mad Dog stood beside him, terrified to speak, silently directing the efforts to extinguish the fire and rescue survivors. Though there weren't really any survivors to rescue. With an explosion of that scale, Mad Dog didn't believe anyone could survive. They couldn't even find an intact corpse, let alone identify anyone. The personnel from the frontier fought the fire while dragging out bodies. Report. We found a corpse in the basement, but it's charred beyond recognition. We can't verify if it's Shiro Kiri. Someone ran up and reported to Landon. Landon turned his head, staring silently at Mad Dog. Mad Dog lowered his head, whispering, As far as I know, Shiro Kiri shouldn't have had the ability to escape the basement. Shouldn't have? Landon snorted. So you're saying that corpse is Shiro Kiri? Probability is high. Before the results come back, I can't guarantee it. Results? The person is burnt to a crisp. Where are you going to get results? Landon took a deep breath, looking at Mad Dog with disappointment. Mad Dog, you didn't used to be this reckless. What happened to you? Mad Dog bit his lip, feeling utterly wronged. Did I want this? You don't know how conservative my plan was. It was that kid Leo who messed everything up. I was blind to ask him for help. Right now, Mad Dog's heart was filled with two words: regret. Endless regret. Looking at the situation, punishment back at the frontier was inevitable, unless Leo stepped up and took the blame. But judging by the call between Landon and Leo just now, that possibility was microscopic. Thinking of this, Mad Dog sighed deeply. his eyes full of worry for his future. Meanwhile, on a small peak overlooking the camp, a figure was holding binoculars, watching Mad Dog and the others from a distance. TSK, TSK, TSK. That explosion. Lucky I moved fast, or I would have died with you. Vulture 5 slowly lowered the binoculars, looking back at the man behind him, enunciating every word. Don't you agree? 3 tails. Shiro Kiri glanced at him. I haven't been 3 tails for a long time. Don't call me that. So cold. I took a huge risk rescuing you from that basement. Vulture 5 shook his head, then pulled a mask from his coat and handed it to Shiro. Shiro stared at the mask, stunned for a moment. It was his old mask, the mask of 3 tails. While you were gone, I've been acting as both 5 tails and 3 tails. I've been busy to death. Vulture 5 sounded aggrieved. Doing the work of 2 tails, all by myself, isn't easy. Shiro took the mask, surprised. Impossible. No one in the organization has ever held 2 masks simultaneously. Shh. Vulture 5 smiled slightly, whispering, of course it's impossible. Because I secretly killed the newly appointed 3 tails. I even deceived the leader on this matter. I've been switching between 2 identities, deceiving everyone under the heavens. Hearing this, Shiro's pupils shook. He looked at Vulture 5 in disbelief. You, what exactly are you planning?